1988 National Football League season on CBS. We've got the glamour game for you today from Giant Stadium as the 49ers take on the New York Giants. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Verne Lundquist, and welcome to Giant Stadium. Both these teams won last week. Both had tough times doing so. The Giants came from behind to nip Washington on Monday night. The 49ers got big plays and came from behind to win at New Orleans last week. But in the process, they have a bruised Joe Montana. I'm working again today with John Madden. And, John, what does that bruised Montana do to the 49ers?
Well, it's an interesting thing. I think what it really does is it gives Bill Walsh a chance to start Steve Young. I think he wants to do that because he remembers the last time that they played the Giants here, and it was a nightmare for the 49ers. It was a nightmare for Joe Montana, and I really feel that he would like to see how Steve Young can do against him. I was talking to Montana yesterday, and he said he's thrown the last 3 days, and he feels fine, and he's disappointed that we'll expect that we will play Joe Montana today.
Perfect weather conditions. It's in the upper 70s, overcast sky, just a slight haze. Raul Alegre will kick off for the Giants as the 49ers have won the toss. Doug DeBose is the man on the left-hand side. He's back deep, along with Harry Sidney. Last two times in this arena for the 49ers have been disastrous. In the playoffs, they lost 49-3, as John said, in '86, 17-3 in '85. DuBose at the goal line. Cut down as he gets to the 27-yard line, and Steve Young comes on for his first start of the year. And for the Giants defensively, Eric Dorsey, Eric Howard, and John Washington up front. The linebackers without Lawrence Taylor, of course, Banks, Pepper Johnson, Harry Carson, and Andy Hedden. And in the defensive secondary, Mark Collins, Perry Williams, both played well Monday night, Terry Kennard, and Kenny Hill. 3 starts last year, 57%, 6 touchdowns, no interceptions. They test the middle and find nothing there. Dorsey leads the charge with Harry Carson. Offensively for the 49ers with Young at quarterback, Roger Craig and Tom Rathman in the backfield, Wes Chandler and Jerry Rice at the wide receivers. John Frank doesn't play today because of injuries. Steve Wallace, Sapolu, Cross, McIntyre, who might see some action at tight end, along with Harris Barton in the offensive line. 2nd and 9. Rathman to the left side. Young, first pass of the day. Caught by Rice, and that might be enough for the first down at the 38-yard line.
You know, what's interesting, Verne, is that the 49ers started the first 2 plays with 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end, and only 1 back in there. In fact, Roger Craig wasn't in there.
Roger Craig now comes in, and they will bring the chains out to see if Rice got the first down. I don't think anybody wants to have a bigger game today than Jerry Rice. He was so frustrated by his last 2 appearances here. Well,
you know, he was saying the last time, remember that game, the playoff game, he was carrying the ball. He was wide open, going for a touchdown, and the ball just popped out. He fumbled it. He said since that game, he has never worn long sleeves again.
It'll be officially 3rd and 1. It's 3rd and a link, a chain link, maybe 2. There's Jerry Rice, who was held to 2 completions last week in 2 games at Giant Stadium, both in the playoffs. 7 for 93 yards, no touchdowns. And the big one was that drop of a potential touchdown.
It was funny. We were talking last night to both Jerry Rice and to Steve Young. And Jerry Rice said, well, I didn't get the ball much last week. It was no big deal. And Steve Young said, I'll guarantee you're going to get it a lot tomorrow.
And he goes to him on first down. 3rd and 1. Last week, 7 of 10 on 3rd down conversions. Quarterback sneak. And Steve Young has picked up enough for the first down. Ball out to the 40-yard line.
That's one thing I think we're going to see a lot more of with Steve Young and Joe Montana is organized quarterback runs. Now, that was one, obviously, a quarterback sneak. I think we're also going to see bootlegs where he will fake to a running back and keep the ball going the opposite way himself.
3 wide receiver set. Once again, Heller, the tight end, is tight right. Young back across the middle. Ron Heller, flag is down. Ball is fumbled. And it's going to be ruled incomplete. There is a flag at the line of scrimmage. Holding 49ers. John Frank bruised his ribs and his hip on his first catch last Sunday. He played the entire game, scored 2 touchdowns, but didn't practice all week. So Ron Heller is the only healthy tight end in uniform for the 49ers.
Holding, 62 offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
That's Guy McIntyre with the hold.
You see him, he's a right guard there, right to the right of the center. Now watch him here. He's blocking down there on Howard. He just grabbed him with his left hand. That's not bad. You know, usually a guard will do that, or a lineman will do that when he doesn't move his feet. Howard took an inside move on him. He didn't move his feet, so he had to move his hands, and that became a hold.
First and 20. Draw play. Gregg belted backward. Pepper Johnson. Gary Carson.
You talk about a guy who had a big game last week. Was that guy right there, Pepper Johnson. He got those 2 hits on Doug Williams, and you're going to see the 2 inside linebackers right there. That's Carson and Johnson. They're responsible for the draw. They start a step back, but look how quickly they read that thing. And they both get there, boom, boom, right at the same time. I'll tell you, that made Craig go back the other way where he came from.
Second and 18, Rice in motion. Split backs behind Young. 4-man rush. Here's where he is so dangerous. Whoa! That will be an incomplete pass or a fumble. Boy, that's a tough call for the referee to make.
Well, that's the way. What the rule is, if the ball comes out of his hand, of course, it's a fumble. If it were a throwing motion and part of a throw, then it's an incomplete pass. Here he's going to, no one's open. Good coverage by the Giants. Now he's scrambling here. Did he drop it or throw it? No, that ball came out the back. That is a fumble. It didn't come out when his arm was going forward. They're going to look at this on instant replay now, but I think their call is right.
Covered by the Giants, first down.
It's going to come out the back door on him.
Had not started his forward motion. Oh. That is tough.
Yeah, that is a tough one.
That's a real tough call. Gordon McCarter made the call. Joe Morris. And one thing the Giants must do this afternoon, they feel, is run well. They had 56 yards in the game Monday night on the ground. And here is Maurice Carthen. Let's go back to the last play and look at the coverage on Jerry Rice.
I think that's what he was trying to do, and they have good coverage on Rice. You see, that's the thing. You see good coverage there by Mark Collins, 25. He just mirrors him and runs all the way with him.
Carthen is in. Second down and 6. Joe Morris goes right. Inside the 20 at the 17-yard line. First down, New York. Offensively for the New York Giants, you've seen Morris run twice. Bill Sims, Morris, Lionel Manuel, and Ingram are the wide receivers. Zeke Moat and Mark Bavaro at tight ends, though Moat is out now. William Roberts, Bill Ard, Bart Oates, Damian Johnson, and Carl Nelson up front. Carthon has replaced Moat. They're in the eye on 1st and 10 from the 17. Morris comes left. I think it's fair to say that the Redskins defense against the run is probably a little stronger than the 49ers, John.
I think the Redskin defense, period, is a stronger defense than the 49ers. And I think the Giants, with 2 backs, they're just going out, with Carthon going out now and Moat coming back in. But I think they're a better running team when Carthon is in there. Of course, he doesn't give them the pass receiving that a Moat does.
Second down and 5. No score. 11:23 to go, first quarter. Ingram left. Manuel in motion. And Sims across the middle. Touchdown. Lionel Manuel wide open.
When they you, when the Giants could get a little running going, then they're always much better passing. Here, Sims just goes back, boom, hits Manuel right on the post. I think that Lionel Manuel could be the most improved player in this Giant team this year.
Raul Alegre is on for the extra point. It's good. Bill Sims and Lionel Manuel after the fumble recovery, and the Giants lead it 7-0. "30 yards in 4 plays after the fumble recovery. Phil Sims to a wide open Lionel Manuel, and the Giants lead by 7. 11-12 to go first quarter. Allegre getting ready to kick off again.
49ers had that same problem last week against New Orleans.
Ball blows off the tee.
Not that problem. I mean, they're fast defense, and you know what they do, and I always had a rule that you couldn't play a pass zone defense inside the 20. And the 49ers do that. They do that inside the 20, inside the 10, and I don't still understand how you zone the end zone.
And we'll see how it didn't work in a minute. Here's Doug DeBose. And a flag comes flying from way out at the 40-yard line. Pepper Johnson made the tackle. And that one was thrown for a long distance. It'll be against the 49ers.
Pepper Johnson's earning his paychecks now, isn't he? He plays inside linebacker, outside linebacker, kickoff coverage.
Illegal block, number 53, receiving team. Half the distance from the spot of the foul, first down.
That'll be a costly one for the 49ers. Johnson had that big game Monday night, said he got home late after the game, and the answering service had 20 messages congratulating him, and one call from his sister and said, "Don't get the big head. You missed too many tackles."
Missed too many tackles. That's good. I like that. That's the way a coach does. You know, you do all this and a lot of yeah buts, and the yeah but is yeah, but you missed tackles.
Young, play fake. Let's go back and watch the 49ers give up a touchdown pass.
You know, here's what I'm talking about zone. Watch the corner zones, the safety zones, this corner zones. Now Manuel comes in motion, runs right up here into the end zone, and there's no one on man-to-man, and I don't think that you can zone that. If there's anyone's job, it's the free safety in the middle. But watch, a little play back, that holds the linebacker, and watch Manuel. He just runs right up through the zone of the defense, and he's hitting the seam between the safety and corner.
Roger Craig on 2nd and 1. That's a first down out near the 22.5. Kenny Hill made the tackle.
There's a guy who can play this, Roger Craig. Remember, he was a fullback, and he used to always catch all those passes. Last year, I think the 49ers really became a much better running team when they moved Craig from fullback to halfback and started Tom Rathman in there with him.
Rathman is left now on 1st and 10, and Craig to the right. In the flat, Jerry Rice. That's another first down. He's out of bounds at the 37-yard line. Here's what happened last year with Roger Craig in '87 as a starting fullback.
When he was a fullback, he had 59 yards a game, and then when they brought in Rathman, I think part of it is not only Craig running the ball, but Rathman as a blocker. Look what they did, 162 yards a game.
Bill Walsh said last year, on route to a 13-2 record, that's the best move he made all year. 1st and 10, 49ers. They trail 7-0. Split backs. Young, short for Craig. Knocked down at the 40-yard line. The tackle made by Carl Banks.
Brought down by Banks.
Let's watch in there Eric Howard, number 74. Watch him against Randy Cross. You see Cross get his hands up on him, push him. He knows he has help from his left guard. So if he's going to let him go, he can let him go to that side, push him right out into the guard where he has the help. Where he gets in trouble is where he goes the other way, where he doesn't have any help.
2nd down and 6. Rice lined up to the right side in a wing spot. Hand off Roger Craig. Gets a good block from Jerry Rice. And stays on his feet out of bounds at the 49. Another first down. Well, they say wide receivers don't block, but Rice that time did.
I tell you, Rice blocked, and Roger Craig ran right over number 48, Kenny Hill. Watch Hill as he comes off this. He's going to make the hit here. And I tell you, he doesn't take him down because Craig, the one thing he does, he has that high knee action, and he always keeps those feet going forward.
First and 10, 49ers. 8:54 to go first quarter. 7-0 New York. I formation this time. Chandler right. Rice is split wide left. Young has some room. John, that looked like it was designed run. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's the type of thing that the 49ers will do differently, is have these designed runs for Steve Young. And we just saw one of them. And most of the time, if not all the time, when he runs on a designed run, it's going to be to his left. Now you watch here. You see, he just fakes a little running play. Now that's a bootleg. He fakes to the back, then he just bootlegs, comes out the other way. And of course, the closest guy there is Eric Howard, the nose tackle, and you know you have to be able to outrun him.
Second down and 1. 49ers in Giant country for the first time. 7-0 New York leads. Rice in motion, followed by Collins. Play fake. Collins coming. And Young had to get rid of it. A corner blitz from Mark Collins.
I'll tell you, that was an interesting thing because Collins started going in motion with Jerry Rice. And then he just kept coming. Watch him here. Here's Rice going in motion. Here's Collins coming with him like he's going to cover him. Rice keeps going. Boom! Here comes Collins here. And watch him as he just hits Steve Young just as he gets rid of the ball. I'll tell you, that is an interesting thing. Where it looks like he's coming in coverage, and then lo and behold, he's coming on a blitz. Here's what it looks like from this side. You see, it's the back side of the left-handed quarterback was always the best side to rush him.
On 3rd and 1, Rice makes the catch from Young. And that's another 49er first down. Jerry Rice with 3 catches in the first quarter. Bill Parcells looks on. And the 49ers on that last short yardage play had to put Guy McIntyre, who was a starting guard, at left tight end because of the absence of John Frank today.
Well, you know, with John Frank out, they only have one tight end, and that's Ron Heller. So if anything were happening to Heller, it would have to be a guard playing there or Mike Wilson as a receiver. And then, of course, when they go to 2 tight ends, they have to put the back there.
Heller tight right, first down at the 35. Both wide receivers to the right side. Barton almost moved. He got set. Young in the middle. Incomplete. Collins had his hands on it for the interception. Last week, the 49ers in the New Orleans game had trouble getting the ball to their wide receivers. Only 3. That's the fewest since 1984 in week 14. And already today, Jerry Rice with 4 of 5, or to the wide receivers, that is. So they've gone to them.
Well, see, and last week they had 5 to the tight end. They haven't completed one to the tight end yet in this game.
Second and 10. 7-0 New York leads. Here comes Hedden on the blitz. Roger Craig with 3 blockers in front. And he's down at the 23-yard line. Barton was out there. And McIntyre. Pepper Johnson makes the tackle.
You know, the interesting thing here, Verne, is on a left-handed quarterback, as he comes back, his backside comes from here. So this is where you rush him. The right-handed quarterback, you always want to come from here. But now this is the second time we see the Giants as he turns to bring their rush. That time it's Andy Hedden, 54. But you see, usually you just take that and flip-flop it. But you always want your rush to come from the quarterback's backside.
Impressive drive by the 49ers. Young, fade route in the corner, tipped and incomplete, and no flag. There is a flag back at the line of scrimmage. It has nothing to do with the possibility of pass interference. Motion. 49ers. Who was it? Let's make sure.
Well, Harry Carson, number 53, of course, is the Giants captain. In fact, he's their only captain.
My misunderstanding. The captain correctly refused the penalty. It is second down. The penalty was illegal motion, number 80 offense.
I like that. A captain correcting a referee, and the referee accepting it and then admitting it to the entire home crowd. That's nice.
Washington, a 55-yard pass to Ricky Sanders from Doug Williams has gone on top 7-3. Second and 10. 7-0. New York leads it over the San Francisco 49ers. Rice in motion. Chandler is a tight end to the left. Young. Back to the 19-yard line. Now for an NFL update. Let's go to our NFL Today studios. Brent Musburger.
Well, Verne and John, Jim McMahon is at it again for the Chicago Bears. Roughing the punter. 1st and 10. Pump fake. McMahon takes a blow, but he finds Dennis Gentry. 35 yards. Bears lead the Colts 7-0. Let's go back to Verne and John.
All right, Brent, and how much they need McMahon healthy this year.
I think not only the Bears need McMahon healthy, I think the whole league needs McMahon healthy. I think that the Bears are one of the interesting and fun teams in this league.
3rd and 4. Craig in a wing to the left. Young. Fumble. Pepper Johnson.
I'll tell you again, it's that backside rush. That time it was Eric Dorsey, number 77, the left end. Watch him. He's working against Harris Barton. He's right here. But watch again. It's a backside. He hits Steve Young, and he doesn't see him. Watch him. He starts outside. He's working on Harris Barton there. Gives him a move, arm over. Look, Young has turned to that side. Didn't see him. Whack! Put his helmet right on the 8, and the ball popped out.
Pepper Johnson gets the fumble recovery after Dorsey's tackle. Second Steve Young fumble, second turnover. And the Giants with a 7-0 lead have the ball at the 24. 6:40 to go first quarter. Lee Rousson checks into the backfield. Play fake. Sims, Rousson. Rousson obviously inserted for just that play. We didn't expect to see that much of him. See if he stays in the lineup. Nope, he's going to go right to the bench.
I'm sure you're right. It was a first down play after a turnover. Sure, Bill Parcells had this play to Rousson and said, here, go in, we'll run this play.
Second down and 3. Split backs behind Phil Sims. Joe Morris. That one took a while to get developed.
Well, you know, when the Giants were really good offensively was when Joe Morris would have all those rushing yards, and then the Giants would get that going, and then they could go play pass and all the things that go with it. But when they did that, most of the time they ran to their right, and it was that kind of delay play to that side.
Last week, 3 of 10 on third down conversions, 3rd and 2. Now you saw Tim Sherwin, number 81, check in, a tight end, 87 rather, acquired in a trade with the Colts. He is lined up tight to the left. That's Moad in motion. Play fake in the face of a rush. And roughing the passer is going to be called on Chet Brooks, the rookie out of Texas A&M. I think he may have stuck a face to the helmet, or an arm to the helmet.
I tell you, he's saying he just had his arms up. I don't know. That looked awfully close to me. But again, now it's that backside, the left side, the right side of the defense.
Foul, roughing the passer, blow to the face. Number 31 defense, 15, automatic first down.
Again, you see the play fake. Here comes Brooks. He's right there. Unless that left hand hit him in the face, that's the only thing I could see that he called.
He argued against the flag, but without success, as you might imagine. 1st and 10. 2 wide receivers to the left side. And Sims with a play fake again. Settles for the left side. Flag down. Thrown on Don Griffin as the pass was intended for Mark Ingram. And Ingram may have injured his wrist or fingers.
I think that's Griffin. I bet he got his finger in there. I think that is really something where the ball hits right on the tip of the finger. But again, you would seem like they have to let defenders get in and go for the ball. Now, I don't know how you can take that away from defenders. I mean, you can't make them where they can't hit the guy. I mean, they have to go for the ball too. Now, I don't agree with that penalty. I don't know if I agree with the penalty before that, but I sure don't agree with that last one.
You're saying he's being picky.
Well, I think you got to let defenders play.
That's a big defensive play for the 49ers, back all the way across midfield. Oh, boy. Bill Romanowski, the rookie, and Kevin Fagan, a loss of 12. There's Romanowski, who's starting for Keena Turner.
Well, this is one thing that the Giants aren't the best at, and that is pass protection. And you're going to see they got a blitz from the outside. And, you know, and that is the first start. Then the guy comes up the middle, and then the other side. So they had three guys, the middle, both outsides, all arriving at the same time.
2nd and 22. Back split. Joe Morris scoots down inside the 45 to the 44-yard line, and Ricky Ellison makes the tackle. Atlanta leading New Orleans in the first quarter. There's Ricky Ellison, who had 12 tackles in the win over New Orleans last week. The 49ers are playing without Ronnie Lott at free safety today. Tom Holmoe has taken his place. Lott tried to go last week with a hamstring and a tendon problem, and he is not even suited up today. 3rd and 16. Shotgun. 4-man rush. Bavaro. That will be far short of the first down at the 34-yard line.
Well, it's an interesting situation here. Is it a field goal or is it a punt? It looks like the Giants are already made that decision. They're going field goal, but that would be about a 52-yard field goal, and that is right at the extremes of Allegre's distance, I would think.
Raul Allegre hit 2 last week. 52 yards it is. Hostetler, the holder, has to bury the ball. The 49ers take over at the 44. Bad snap.
You know, that was, but you go back to the extra point when the Giants scored the touchdown. I think that same thing happened in the extra point. Hostetler got it down. That time he didn't.
Bart Oates was the center. 49ers have the ball.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tampa Bay, nothing.
7-0 Giants, but they had a bad snap on the field goal. Bart Oates, let's take a look at it.
You know, Hostetler does a pretty good job there. In fact, I think had Allegre stayed with it, now that was a terrible snap. That just rolled back there. But maybe he could have had a shot at it.
How you like Allegre's blocking stance?
Well, I think that was just out of fright. I think when he saw that ball roll back there and a bunch of guys in white jerseys coming at him, I think he just froze.
You take a comfortable stance.
Yeah, and then fall down.
Exactly.
And hope no one falls on top of you.
49ers' third possession of the first quarter. They have had both drives end in fumbles. One at their own 30, which the Giants converted into a touchdown. The second inside the Giants' 30. Steve Young. Good block from Wallace. Screen pass. Roger Craig. First down. 49ers are moving the ball against the New York Giants. They've got 80 yards plus that play total offense.
You know, I think if you had to take one stat in a football game and you don't know the score of the game, you don't know the outcome, is turnovers. I think that's the biggest thing. If there's anything, and that's one. I mean, the 49ers have good stats. Steve Young has good stats, but of course they have the 2 turnovers. Young
7 of 10. He's now gone 82 passes in succession without throwing an interception. He does have the 2 fumbles today. 3 wide receiver set. Mike Wilson's in now, lined up in the slot right. That pass caught. Mike Wilson makes the catch. He had a touchdown grab last week. Terry Kennard makes the tackle at the 31-yard line.
I think what they're going to do today is they're playing Heller as a tight end in the normal situations, and then I think they're going to play 3 wide receivers. I think Mike Wilson will probably catch those passes that the tight end John Frank would normally catch.
They will use Wilson at the tight end spot. Also McIntyre. He's not the pass catching threat, of course, as an offensive guard. John Frank out for the game. 1st and 10, 49ers, 2:33 to go, first quarter. 7-0 New York. Young goes by Pepper Johnson. Now he goes by Jim Burt. And he slides down at the 21-yard line, close for the first down. Andy Hedden caught up with him. And a flag is down.
You know, that's one thing about Steve Young. He not only has that speed, but he has that quickness. You think you got him, and then all of a sudden he's around you. Pepper Johnson was sure he was in great shape to tackle him, and he didn't even get much cloth.
Penalty against the 49ers, and here is Gordon McCarter.
Illegal block, number 80 offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat first down.
There's Jerry Rice. Let's see what he did. That's what he did.
I don't know. It was kind of in the back, grab, takedown, fall down, flopper. At least the guy's out there trying. You know, you don't find many of those wide receivers that'll do it very well, and you don't even find a lot of them that will try. I think Jerry Rice has a lot of pride and would like to be a complete wide receiver.
How many blocks did Fred Biletnikoff throw for you?
In his lifetime?
Yeah.
None. And the guy on the other side, Cliff Branch, equaled him.
They fake the draw down the middle, caught Ron Heller. Oh, nice play by Steve Young. And Heller releasing late, first down at the 15-yard line.
Now that's ball handling there, Verne. You see that? That was that old carry back thing. Watch it here. Steve Young is going to come back. He's going to go up above, beyond Craig. Look, and then fake up front to him. That's that fake draw, and then hit Ron Heller in the middle. I'll tell you, that did hold those 2 inside linebackers too, didn't it?
And boy, isn't ball handling an overlooked element of the game?
You don't
talk about it.
No, you don't see that much anymore. One of the best played for this team left-handed years ago, Frankie Albert.
First down, 49ers. Craig down to the 12-yard line. Tackle made by John Washington, number 73.
Yeah, there's Joe Montana there in the cap. He's giving the signals. He gets the play from Bill Walsh. Then he signals it in to Steve Young.
Hey, he is not a happy camper right now.
No, he's not. I mean, he said that he threw for 3 days. He felt that he could play, and then he was disappointed that he didn't get the start today.
Final 40 seconds. First quarter, 2nd and 7. Rice in motion. Play fake again. Young in the grasp. Now, once he scrambles out of the pocket, is he treated as a runner or a thrower?
Well, he's treated as a thrower, but the thing is, I mean, he's treated as a runner, but the thing is you have to play the whistle. And I think we're going to find here that what happened is he started to scramble here. Andy Hedden is number 54. He's going to grab him. See, he has that ball out there. I think what happened is the whistle blew before he knocked it out.
Had to be.
Yeah, because that had to be a fumble, had it not, because Hedden just punched it right out of there.
Well, Young has fumbled twice officially. And that's the end of the first quarter with our score. The New York Giants 7, the San Francisco 49ers nothing. Ivan Lendl going after his fourth straight U.S. Open singles title. Man's a machine.
He sure is. I saw him a week ago in one of his early matches, and you just watch him, and he is so close to perfect that he looks automatic. And you know, how can anyone be that automatic and not be a machine?
3rd and 12, 49ers to open quarter number 2. Verne Lundquist and John Madden with you. Steve Young back to throw. Incomplete. Now let's go back to the last play. Whoops, sold it. Leonard Marshall and Steve Wallace are broken up quickly and no flags are thrown. The last play where Steve Young, did he or did he not fumble, and was there or was there not a whistle while he was in the grass? Let's listen.
Yeah, if we do it with sound, I think we're going to see here. He did. He fumbled that ball before the whistle blew. That should have been the Giants' ball. And we had the whistle and the ball and the fumble.
Mike Cofer puts it up and gets it. He's now 3 for 3 for the year out of Montana's hold. Ron Heller a little late getting up. The 49ers get on the board in the first 9 seconds of quarter number 2. You're looking back at the skyline of Manhattan from the west side of the Hudson River. The 49ers and the New York Giants live from Giant Stadium in East Rutherford. Verne Lundquist and John Madden. 14:51 to go before halftime. And the 49ers just got a field goal from that man, Mike Cofer, who replaced Ray Wershing. Deep men are Lee Rousson, along with Mark Ingram for the Giants. 7-3, Giants lead. This is Rousson. Fumbles, picks it up. And is knocked out of bounds short of the 20 at the 19-yard line. Tackle made by Chet Brooks. Thus far in the game, what's happened, in case you joined us late? Young started for Montana, though Joe could go today. The Giants 7 points off 2 Steve Young fumbles. And the total yardage, 49ers almost 3 times, or yes, exactly 3 times as much as the Giants. All of which goes back to your point about turnovers. Who's winning?
Well, it is the turnover, and then the 49ers, I think, dodged a bullet on having another turnover, and out of that they got 3 points because it should have been the Giants' ball.
Sims has Mowat way out to the right side. That's manual in motion. Quick screen, left side. Mark Ingram doesn't get much. Nice compliment paid to Phil Sims by his coach Bill Parcells, in chatting with us yesterday. Said he gets tougher by the years.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that Phil Sims is one of the toughest guys in the NFL. And you look at him and you know, blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy, and you think, that guy can't be tough. But I'll guarantee you, he hangs in there. He got rushed so much in the first half against the Redskins the other night. You think the guy's almost, going to be, he didn't even know he was being rushed.
He's 5-5 now as Maurice Carthon, who doesn't catch that many balls, has the football out to the 25. Ricky Ellison with another tackle for the 49ers.
The thing is, we're talking about the rush the other night. Phil Sims wasn't even aware of it until he watched the game on tape. One of the guys, number 63, Carl Nelson, had a little trouble the other night, but he seems to be doing a lot better today.
There's Nelson on Michael Carter. Adams and Odessa Turner in the lineup now for the Giants. 3rd and 4 from the shotgun. 5-man rush by San Francisco. Incomplete. It'll be 4th down. First, Phil Sims incomplete pass. George Adams, the 3rd down specialist, couldn't get it. Griffin is playing now despite a dislocated finger that he suffered on that pass interference call back in the first quarter. Now, a new punter, Maury Buford, has replaced Sean Landeta. And if there are 2 nervous men in this stadium today, it's Romeo Crennel of the Giants and Lynn Stiles of the 49ers, because both teams are going with new punters. And here's Buford, who hasn't been in football for a year. Wes Chandler deep to return the punt. That's not bad, but it will be returned from the 30. Out to the 42-yard line. Byron Hunt makes the tackle. And Bill Parcells heaves a sigh of relief. 13:03 to go in the half. '49ers have moved the ball with ease against the Giant defense, but they've only gotten 3 points out of this. There's Jim Burt, the hero of the Monday night win, with a 39-yard fumble return for a touchdown. He was timed in 7.2 seconds.
I don't know how much of a hero he is. You know, when you get one and you have to run 40 yards, that's what they time the players in anyway. And a good time, like for a lineman, would be like 5.51, 5.2. He ran it 7.2. And he's still taking the heat for it.
Young incomplete. Jim Burt picks it up. Burt becomes a ball hawk.
Oh, yeah. He wants to stay. You know, those guys never get to touch a ball. You know, you never let an old nose tackle touch a ball. I mean, they go there and they practice and they give them some stupid fumble drill or something and let them touch it. So if they ever get their hands on it, I mean, that's like Christmas or something when you get something like that. I mean, that's like, look at all these presents and stuff. I mean, that right there is enough to have a party on. Call it a party. Call your friends.
2nd and 10. Roger Craig. Nice move. Still going. First down at the 40. Barry Williams caught up with it. A gain of 17.
If Pepper Johnson's sister can call him again and say, Pepper, you missed a tackle. That's the second one, and I've seen him. And here on Roger Craig, you got to wrap your arms around him. Watch his great cutbacks he made. Now watch 52. There's Pepper Johnson right there. Put his head down, didn't wrap his arms. Boom! Craig just jumped, stepped, ran right through it.
And Jerry Rice continuing to add to his legend. He was downfield throwing another block. First and 10.
Likes the contact. Likes the collision.
First and 10. 7-3. Giants lead. Tom Rathman. That's close for a first down at the 30-yard line. Kenny Hill with the tackle. Rathman, the third-year man from Nebraska. Giants, as you know, or rather the 49ers, script their first 25. And here's the distribution today, John.
Well, you can see that they had 8 running plays, 17 pass. Now, the 49ers, this just proves these are the plays that they think that they're going to run, and they run. It's thought out all week. But you can see Bill Walsh has always been a guy who passes to establish a run. Most teams want to be able to run and then pass. He will always come out throwing first.
2nd and 1, Rathman. Might have it. He does. At the 29. Gary Reasons, number 55. Another of the heroes of the Monday night game, made the tackle there. It was Gary Reasons who blocked the punt by Steve Cox that led to the go-ahead touchdown. Tom Flynn ran it in. Reasons, who held out of camp a year ago and in the process lost his starting job to Pepper Johnson. First and 10, 49ers. Rice comes to the left against Perry Williams. Wes Chandler is right against Mark Collins. Williams plays off of him. Inside, trap play. Killing him right in the middle.
Well, they are, but what they're doing is they're starting one way. They're giving him a little misdirection. Watch him. Craig is going to start up in here, you see. He'll start up and then cut back. You know, so you try and get these guys reacted and then cut back against the way that they're going. You see, I mean, they start into that side and then they bounce back to the other side.
First and 10, 49ers. Split backs. Rice in motion. Young, man open, goes behind Mike Wilson. Picks up on the pattern. Because Wilson was there and Young threw it behind him.
You know, and this is where Joe Montana is so strong. And Bill Walsh said yesterday that he was going to play Montana, and he said he would play him in the red zone, which is in this zone the 49ers are in now, inside the 20. There's no one that operates in this area with their offense better than Montana. Of course, when Montana has that red cap on, you know that Walsh isn't even thinking about it. It was a good idea on Saturday night. You don't do it on Sunday, though.
2nd and 10. Young almost picked off by Pepper Johnson. Young made a mistake.
I guarantee you Pepper Johnson's sister is going to have a talk with him tonight, not only about those missed tackles, but about those drop passes. She's going to say, what's wrong with you, Pepper? Everything's going right through your hands. The ball goes through your hands. Guys go through your hands. Everything goes through your hands.
Forget Monday night, Pepper. This is Sunday. 3rd and 10.
At least he's in the right place. I mean, his location's good. There was baseball, you'd say he has good location and bad rotation.
Craig. First down and goal at the 5. Gary Kennard makes the tackle. 49ers get a fresh set of downs.
But I have to think of all the players in the 49ers, I have always believed that this guy, Roger Craig, is one of the most valuable, if not the most valuable. And I'll tell you that Tom Rathman helps him out, too. Did you see 44, the block that he got? That's the difference between a first down and not a first down. If Rathman doesn't make that block, Craig doesn't get a first down.
Craig gets a rest now, and Doug DeBose is into the lineup. DeBose, the second-year man from Nebraska. 5 seconds on the 45-second clock. Down to 2, they get it. DeBose up the middle. No signal for a touchdown yet, and there is none. He's down at the 1-foot line.
Ball carried.
DeBose was one of those players that was suspended for drug abuse. He was out for 30 days, just came back last week before the Saints game, and now he's here playing his second game.
It'll be second down and goal from just outside the end zone. 49ers like to get off that 3-line. DeBose, they've done it. Touchdown, San Francisco. And a little shuffle from Doug DeBose, aimed in the direction of the Giant bench.
This is the thing, what you try and do is you try and get all the defenders to go down. You see, make them make their commitment. Now you got the big pile, and then DeBose just comes in and he just dives over the whole bunch. If you hit that too quickly, you're going to hit it as the defense is hitting it. If you wait just a little while, they'll all be down.
Gopher's extra point is good. Let's look at it from ground level and watch the high dive.
Well, see, they all hit in there. Now watch, by the time he gets there, they're all down in the ground so he can dive over them. You know, he got up there about 10 feet 2 inches, I measured it.
Didn't use the Fosbury flop. There was a flag on the extra point.
Personal foul, number 62 on the kicking team. 15-yard penalty, re-kick.
Aha. Guy McIntyre.
Yeah, that makes a field goal out of an extra point very quickly.
Ball is moved back to the 17. And Bill Walsh looks on in exasperation. Last 2 trips in here, the 49ers were defeated 49-3 and 17-3 in the playoffs. So their first touchdown in a while. They have only won here once since 1968. Gopher right through. So with 9:18 remaining in the first half, the 49ers get the touchdown from Doug DeBose, and they have a 3-point lead. 9:18 to go first half. 49ers have moved the ball at will, and they finally have the lead, 10-7. And watch what happened to Guy McIntyre up at the top of the screen.
Well, here's McIntyre here. Watch his left hand. It's going to hit Pepper Johnson right in the face. Look at him. Whap! That's a pretty good left jab. That cost him 15 points, 15 yards. Gopher had to kick a field goal from there to get that one.
Gopher kicks it. Broussard will take it and return it from the 3. And the Giant offense back on the field. Jeff Briegel made the tackle. There's Jerry Rice getting a little ice and a rest. Atlanta surprising New Orleans in the second quarter. Miami and Buffalo are tied, and Washington leading Pittsburgh by 4 now. Giants have 48 yards in total offense so far. The 49ers 186. It's a 10-7 game. Daniel in motion. Joe Morris. Jeff Stover is knocked down. And Michael Carter is right there. Carter had a huge game in the second half against New Orleans last week.
I think Stover had a pretty good play on that one against Carl Nelson, too. Nelson was trying to move Stover. He just didn't get any movement on it. And, of course, that's not bad if you're not at the point of attack. When you're at the point of attack, you have to get movement on your guy.
2nd and 8. Mowat back in. Sims right across the middle. Mowat bounces off the tackle. Cut down at the 30. Ricky Ellison down.
When you play a zone defense, watch how the 49ers all get back. Then when the ball's thrown, watch how they all converge. Ellison was the first guy there, and again, it looked like he hurt his wrist when he tried to wrap his arm.
Time has been called to take care of Ricky Ellison. CBS Sports. 3rd and 1, Giants trailing 10-7. Running back. And he should have enough to move the chain.
We're talking about the point of attack. Now, when you run inside like this, you have to get movement on the nose tackle. Watch out. He does a pretty good job of Carter. He gets him going back a little and turned a little. Then by the time Carter spins to get back up the field, Joe Morris already has the first down.
Ellison back in, got a little bump on his shoulder, but he's only out for a play. Here's Morris coming right. Jeff Fuller up on top with the tackle, and Charles Haley and Ellison also a part of it.
And when they were talking about Michael Carter, he was saying last year he weighed 325 pounds. And he said he couldn't play very well in the 4th quarter. He said, all I ever want to do was get a hold of a guy and hold on to him, grab and hold on. He said, now I'm 285 in the 4th quarter. I can still chase quarterbacks and stuff.
He's also claiming a 35-inch vertical jump. Not bad.
That would be a story, I think.
That's a lot of weight to move upstairs. Here's Sims. Down at the 37-yard line, as Ricky Ellison was there to shadow him. And that will bring up the 3rd and about 6.
One of the tough things the Giants are going to have going in at halftime is that they haven't had the ball enough or established anything to know, 1, what they can do, or 2, what the 49ers are really doing defensively. It's been kind of a hodgepodge of offense for them, so you have nothing to build that second half upon.
3rd and 5, New York. Baker is in, so is George Adams. No blitz. Sims, out of time, tipped and incomplete. Chet Brooks, the 11th round draft choice out of Texas A&M with good coverage, intended for Bavaro.
Bill Sims did everything he had to. It looked like Mark Bavaro tripped as he's going out. You see him there. He went down to one hand. Then Bill Sims does a great job of getting this thing off to him. Bavaro had to get spun and turned around.
Maury Buford, not a good kick. Taken by Wes Chandler, and he is down at the 27-yard line. Tackle made by Sheldon White. Giants have 1 touchdown and followed a 30-yard drive after a turnover, but they haven't moved the ball since. That's coming up next Sunday on CBS, our first doubleheader of the 1988 season. In the meantime, here we've got the San Francisco Giants leading 10-7, and a little defensive conclave going on with George Seibert. There's Tom Holmoe, and there is Carl Banks of the Giants. Steve Young, 10 of 17 for 108 yards. He's been trapped 3 times and lost 2 fumbles. Play fake. Looks for Ron Heller, the tight end, who shakes the tackle of Carl Banks and gets it out to the 34-yard line. He picked up 5 more after Banks missed the tackle.
Yeah, I'll say this. The Giants in this first half have missed way too many tackles to be a championship defense. Now, we know about Carl Banks. He held out. This is only his 2nd game, and that's going to happen. Pepper Johnson has missed some tackles, but I think that's one thing that if there's anything that they can change and correct, it's that in the first half, they really haven't tackled well.
2nd down and 3, Heller in motion. Roger Craig. Boy, he kept his feet moving. He did not get the first down, but he's awfully close at the 36. Roger Craig, how many times does a running back get hit in the National Football League game?
Yeah,
thus far.
I never knew this, but I always thought that it's an awful lot. When you look at the time, now Craig so far, when he ran the ball, has been hit 26 times. He's been hit 6 blocking plays, and then receiving, he's been hit 20 times. So in this first half, he's had 52 hits on the punch chart. You know how they do with fighters, how many punches they took, how many punches they got? 52 he's taken so far. That's why they're sore on Monday.
There's about 3 more. It'll be 4th down. 3 more hits, that is. And now it's going to be the 49ers' turn to tremble on the bench. Max Runniger had 1 punt last week. He punted it 24 yards. And the veteran was cut, and they brought back Barry Hilton, a 4th-round draft choice who had been released in the last cutdown. And Hilton is going to make his first NFL punt right now. 4th-round draft choice from Colorado. And that is a nice way to start. From the 20, McConkey down to the 28-yard line. Well, Bill Wallace will sigh with pleasure over that one. A 48-yard punt and 9 on the return. A hang time of 4.8 seconds.
Well, Bill Walsh was telling us last night, he says, when he punts it, if you guys see it up over your head, it's good. He said, if I see it and it's just over my head, then it's a bad one. And that one did go up over our head.
First down, Giants, under 4 minutes to go first half. Giants trail 10-7. Carthen in motion. Sims fires. Manuel down to 36. Tim McKyer makes the tackle.
You know, I have noticed one thing, though, Verne, is the Giant offensive line has settled down in their pass protection, and now they're giving Sims some time. So I think, although they haven't had the ball a lot in the first half, I think they're starting to establish some pass protection.
Barno over the ball on 2nd and 2. Back to the eye. Joe Morris. Oh, what a hit. But he might have, well, he didn't get enough of the first down. It'll be 3rd and 1.
Ricky Ellison hit that hole quicker than Joe Morris did. Ricky Ellison was a linebacker, and you're going to see him come in. And as Morris is starting this way, watch Ellison whap, and he gets to this point before Morris gets to that point. Watch him here. He's reading it. He runs in there. He gets into the line of scrimmage and into the backfield. That is a good read on the go.
3rd and 2. Giants are 1 out of 4 on 3rd down conversions. Morris got it. Nifty little spin at the line.
He had to because they didn't get Michael Carter the nose tackle block. Carter got penetration. Watch him right over the center. He's going to get in the backfield, and Joe Morris just runs right by it. Then he makes the spin. Then he makes the crunch. Then he makes the extra move. All that for 1 first down. Watch him. Whap, whap, whap. Where is he? Here he is.
And after all that, 1st and 10 to York with 2:10 to go in the half. Sims back with pressure on him. Kevin Fagan knifed through and was right in Phil Sims' face.
So much for the pass protection.
And Carl Nelson is down.
Looks like he's grabbing his left ankle. He had a very tough year last year. He had Hodgkin's disease, then he had a shoulder injury. He was treated for the cancer, then he was treated for the shoulder. As we see Carl Nelson down, we see that now he's grabbing for his left ankle. Doctor's grabbing for his left ankle. But you know, with all the things about football that we hear, I mean, we hear about the holdouts and we hear about the drugs and the suspensions, and you wonder where a story like Carl Nelson, a guy through dedication, determination, fight, fire, life, fights all that, comes back, and this to me is a great story. I mean, this is what football is all about. This is what the NFL is all about. This is what Carl Nelson's all about. Here he is. We'll see what happened to him on that last play. But, you know, taking something like that on and then whipping it and then defeating it and then coming back and playing again. I think this is an amazing story.
John Elliott, first-year player, a rookie out of Michigan, they call Shamu. after the whale out on the West Coast. He's a 300-pounder.
Well, they call him Jumbo.
He's replaced Carl Nelson, and the 2-minute warning is upon us. Be right back. Vilander won in straight sets over Cahill. Second down at 23. 2 minutes to go in the half. Down the middle, incomplete. Flag is down. The flag thrown by the head linesman on the near side. Holding 49.
Probably going to be against Elliott, too. He just went in. It's his first play. They're working on Carl Nelson there in his left ankle. You see, the first thing they want to do is get ice on it, then the bandage to give him pressure. But I bet that holding was on number 76.
Holding. 76, offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat, second down.
I tell you, that's a tough thing. You see Elliott there coming in, rookie, first play. Guy takes an inside move on him. He gets that left hand up there, then he gets the right hand up, then the right hand and the left hand both end up around the leg. That's a tough one.
That is the first New York penalty of the first half. 33. Here comes Haley. Sims gets rid of it. George Adams down at the 23-yard line. The clock running with 1:45 to go.
And that was right over John Elliott again. Watch, this time it's Haley. He's lining up there. He's going to just run right around Elliott. Look, he hits him, just keeps going. Phil Simms has to get rid of ball at that time. Hey, that's a tough thing for a rookie to come in on a passing situation and have two of them in a row and then draw a guy like Charles Haley with that speed and quickness.
Coming up at halftime, which is just 1:44 away from now, we'll go back to our studios in New York. Brant Irv and Dick Butkus with scores and highlights from around the NFL, and a U.S. Open report as Pat Summerall, Tony Trabert, and Mary Carrillo get ready for the championship this afternoon. There's Ronnie Lott, who is not suited up today. Played all of last week after having not played in the final preseason game, and it's really bothering him.
Well, it is. He has a hamstring pull, and as Bill Walsh said last week against the Saints, he just played on nerve alone.
That last time out taken by the 49ers in anticipation of getting the ball back, but they might not. Just short of the first down. Mark Ingram came up a yard short, I think. We'll see where they spot it. At the 48, it's going to be fourth down, and now the Giants have a decision. Timeout.
Well, Bill Parcells wants the timeout because he knows that he's going to have to make the decision here. I'm sure he's going to go for it on fourth down. But he wants to talk to Phil Simms to see what play they want to run. You know, you don't want any signals. You don't want any mix-up here. You know, one, you decide, do we really want to go for it here? And two, if we do, what do we want to run? Now, I think this is a tough situation because this is fourth, and to me it looks longer than a yard. And once you get longer than a yard on fourth down, that is a passing situation.
4th and 2, and they will go for it. Riesenberg comes in. Adams is out. Ingram is out. Manuel is out.
Yeah, I hate to say this, and I'm not second-guessing because you don't know what they're going to do yet. If I were the Giants, I would punt. Because 10-7, I'd feel pretty good going in at halftime. If you don't get it here, then the 49ers have it. Then a first down, they can get a field goal.
4th and 2, that's Moan in motion. Big hole. First down, New York at the 41.
That's why I wanted to say that before they did it. And then if you do this, then it looks great. Look at Joe Morris. He's going to start like he's going to the right. Then he cuts back to the left. Look at that hole there. Great blocking on that side. William Roberts, Billy Ard, and he just jumps right in behind him. Now the 49ers take a timeout.
They kill the clock with 1:02 remaining. So two huge plays by the Giants. The pass to Ingram on 3rd and 27, which got them 25. And a 4th down and 2 run by Joe Morris.
What happened, the 49ers had their pass defensive guys in, their 6 defensive backs, and the Giants still had their run offense in.
Carl Nelson heading to the locker room with that injured left ankle. Damian Johnson checks back in now for the Giants as Nelson leaves the arena. Chicago leading Indianapolis by 1. Atlanta still on top of New Orleans. Green Bay over Tampa Bay, and Miami and Buffalo tied at the half. We'll have highlights of all the action. Pittsburgh, that was an 80-yard pass from Bubby Brister to Lewis Lips. That put Pittsburgh on top of the Redskins.
Wouldn't that be something if the world champion Redskins started off the season 0-2?
It'd be like the world champion Giants starting off last year 0-2. Sims back, Sims deep. Caught Ingram. At the 33. Don Griffin with the tackle. 2nd and 1, no huddle. 45 seconds to go. Up the middle, George Adams. First down, New York at the 23.
Phil Sims has him going now, calling these plays without a huddle, just audibleizing on the line.
They'll try it again. Adams to the 19. All of this after the Giants had a 3rd and 33.
And Phil Sims had good pass protection, hung in there and completed that big 3rd down pass. And then Bill Parcells had the guts to go for it on 4th down at midfield.
Allegre getting set. It's a 10-7 game. 49ers lead it. 23 seconds to go.
And I still think you go back again to Phil Sims and that 3rd down pass, and then to Bill Parcells making that decision and that call to hand it to Joe Morris on 4th down. Now, these things can change everything going into the locker room at halftime. If the Giants can get a score, the 49ers have to go in and they have to be down from that. Conversely, if the Giants don't score, that can be a big, big disappointment.
2nd and 7. Mixed up. Adams went short and turned around, and Sims lobbed it over his head. And Jeff Fuller was right with George Adams.
I don't know if Phil Sims felt the pressure, saw the coverage on Adams, and just threw that ball away to stop the clock. Now he has 3rd down. Now, I think what you have to do is throw the ball into the end zone. If you don't have something open, you just throw it away. But you don't want to complete one and then have to kick a field goal anyway.
Baker and Ingram go left. Lionel Manuel to the right, and Bavaro off the line to the right. 4-man rush. Sims kicked incomplete. Bavaro, the intended receiver. And Mark had a really rusty start after his holdout Monday night. I'm not so sure that was catchable.
You see Chet Brooks was back there with him, a rookie defender for the 49ers. He's number 31 right there. He makes a good move coming back inside. Although the ball gets up over him. Now that would have been a tough catch, but that's one you have to catch.
Last time Allegre tried a field goal, Oates dribbled it back to the holder, Hostetler. This is for the tie from 36 yards out. That's a good snap. And the kick is good. The Giants with really an electrifying final 2-minute drive and 2 huge plays, the 3rd down pass and the 4th down gamble. Here's the reaction.
Well, I think this is a big play here for the Giants because they know now that they go in a real positive thing at halftime. Bill Parcells goes in with a good feeling. And I think the 49ers are going to go in and say, wow, what's happened to us here? Things are starting to fall apart. We can't stop them on defense.
John, I go back to the point you made on 4th and 2 because I had the same sense you did. I thought the prudent thing would be to punt, and yet he took the gamble and won it.
That's why I like to talk about those things before they happen and not after and say the obvious, and that's why I think Bill Parcells had a lot of guts there because that wasn't a no-brainer. That wasn't an easy one. You know, because it was a little longer than a yard. It was at midfield. If you don't get it, that can score for the 49ers. That can change the whole attitude at halftime.
Sims hit the big 3rd down pass. Here's a strip kick. Oh, boy, that was nearly recovered by the Giants. Parcells pulling a lot of magic out.
No, that was Adrian White down there. And again, if the 49ers didn't touch it, if he gets that ball, that would have been the Giants' ball right there.
Little squib kick by Allegre. Now McCarty, there's a flag down.
Well, the flag is down because the ball went out of bounds and it didn't hit a 49er.
The kickoff was last touched by the kicking team before going out of bounds. That, by rule, is a penalty which entitles the receiving team to the ball at the 35-yard line. 1st and 10.
Well said.
It's the same thing as kicking the ball out of bounds. You'll see number 36 for the Giants. That's Adrian White. He's the first guy down there. If he catches that ball, then that would be the Giants' ball there. If not, if they knock it all out of bounds, then it's a penalty against the Giants because the ball went out of bounds and the 49ers get it to 35.
How about Bill Parcells here in the last minute?
Tricky. Bag of tricks he got.
Young. Out of bounds with 1 second left. That's a gain of 20 for Steve Young. Well, Kofer missed a 59-yarder, hit the rail or hit the crossbar in preseason. That was one reason that he won the job over Ray Wersching, and they're going to let him try a 63-yard field goal now.
Oh, that's impossible.
Well, it wasn't for Tom Dempsey.
Yeah, I mean, with 1 second, you have to try anything, but he would need some kind of motor on his leg to hit one of these things.
62 officially into the wind. He needed a bigger motor. That's the end of the first half with our scores. San Francisco 10 and the New York Giants 10.
Welcome back to our studios, everybody, with Dick Butkus and Irv Cross. I'm Brent Musburger. Irv, what's going on at the Meadowlands? Your impressions?
Well, my impressions are very simple, Brent. The San Francisco 49ers dominated the first half of play. The Giants came back in the last 2 minutes of the first half to tie the game, but I think the big question that both teams will have to answer is how they're going to handle that right tackle spot. Carl Nelson went out with an ankle injury, and rookie John Elliott is playing that spot for the Giants. Very weak on his pass blocking, so that could be an edge for the 49ers.
Irv, I'm going to ask you about a questionable call in that game. The score is tied at 10. Joe Montana not playing, but he is signaling in the plays from the sideline. Now, Steve Young, was this a fumble or was he throwing, Irv?
Well, the rule says that if your hand is, as soon as your hand comes forward, it's an incomplete pass. Now, did his hand come forward and the ball came out or not? I think it did. I thought it should have been an incomplete pass. It was ruled a fumble. The Giants recovered and took advantage of that recovery right here.
They sure did. And Sims to Manuel, and the Giants, after the extra point, were up by 7, and Phil Sims leading the cheers. Doug DeVos over the top from 1 yard out, and then San Francisco took charge, and the game is now tied at 10. Dick, I know you've been watching Chicago-Indianapolis. What's been going on in that game?
Well, it's been going back and forth, Brent, and they held Eric Dickerson to 20 yards rushing in the first quarter, and that was all the rushing yardage Indianapolis had. And later in the game, Indianapolis, after a poor punt by the Bears, Indianapolis kicked that second field goal, which was the longest one, 54 yards. So, I don't know, it's back and forth there.
That's where it stands right now. A 1-point game. It is 7-6. Jim McMahon threw a touchdown pass for the Bears. Let's take a look at that pass. McMahon to Dennis Gentry. McMahon took a hit, 35 yards, beautiful. Now, Jack Trudeau was injured. What about this play, Jack?
Well, you know, we were talking earlier about the fridge tying up people at defensive end, and here he does it. And you see Dan Hampton one-on-one. He gets through. He doesn't make the play, but then Steve McMichaels and Richard Dent were right there. And on this play, Jack Trudeau got hurt.
Knocked out of the game, and Gary Hogaboom has come in. Now some of the rest of the scores. Miami and Buffalo in the AFC. They are at the half, and they are deadlocked at a field goal apiece. Tampa Bay and Green Bay. They are tied at Lambeau Field in Green Bay at 10-all. Randy Wright to Brent Fullwood for a 30-yard score. Fullwood also had a dandy kickoff return, but it was called back because the Packers were offside. Rookie Lars Tate from Georgia was able to score for the Buccaneers. Watch this dive. Long jump record for the Buccaneers, and they are deadlocked right now at 10 apiece in that game. New Orleans and Atlanta, this has been the surprise in the NFC so far. Chris Miller has the hot hand as far as the quarterbacks are concerned. Here he is to Ken Wisenhunt, 12 yards, and it was 7-3 Falcons. And then Miller went to Alex Higdon. Dick, what about the safeties for the Saints?
Well, the safeties, you know, they're claiming that they're having some problems because last week against the 49ers, you know, they had some touchdowns right in the middle of the field, and in this game they had one again right in the middle of the field.
But Hebert was able to come back with that strike to Martin for a touchdown, and that's the status there. Pittsburgh over Washington. They are in the second half. The Steelers up by a field goal. Baseball, Cleveland and Boston, and the last time we checked they were tied at 1. They're in the 6th. Detroit and the Yankees right now, 2-1 Yankees. And the NFL today continues after these messages from your local station. Well, welcome back to our New York studios. You know, yesterday Steffi Graf made tennis history at the U.S. Open. And later today, the men can make some history of their own. And for a report, let's go to Tim Ryan and Mary Carrillo.
You're looking at the National Tennis Center, empty now, but later this afternoon it will be filled to capacity to watch the men's championship final. Ivan Lendl, the top seed, against number 2-seeded Mats Wilander. And Mary Carrillo, certainly Ivan Lendl hoping to maybe have his piece of tennis history. Yesterday was Steffi Graf's day, completing her Grand Slam. If he should win here, he'll be the first man to win 4 U.S. Open titles in a row, the first to do so since Bill Tilden.
That would really be something, and history means an awful lot to Ivan Lendl. But Mats Wilander has got a lot to prove, too. In 1988, he won the Australian, the first leg of the Grand Slam, and the French. If he were to win the U.S. Open, you would have to consider him to be number 1 in the world. And, in fact, if he does beat Ivan, when the next computer ranking comes out on Monday, he'll be number 1.
Well, yesterday, Ivan Lendl had to get by young Andre Agassi. He was the crowd favorite, the number 4 seed, the young American who represents the future of American men's tennis. But Ivan Lendl was not intimidated at all, despite dropping the first set to the 18-year-old Agassi and having to deal with some points like this. But in the end, the stoic play of Ivan Lendl and the superiority of his experience and shot making, as usual, prevailed over a younger opponent. Here at match point, he was too much for Agassi. 6-4 in the 4th, and afterwards, Pat O'Brien talked to him about what it'll be like if he can win 4 in a row.
1 was great, 2 was incredible, 3 was unbelievable, and 4, you know, it's better than that. But it will be a tough match tomorrow. Mats is playing well, and I'm sure he wants it as badly as I do.
Joe, what do you think?
Well, I picked Lendl at the beginning of the tournament, so I'm not going to change my mind. But I think if Mats is aggressive and takes more chances, he could surprise us all.
Okay, well, it should be an exciting match this afternoon. It's coming up at 4 o'clock Eastern Time. Right now, we take you back across the river to the NFL Today.
Irv, who do you like, Lendl or Wilander?
Ivan Lendl, my guy.
I don't know that much about tennis, so I like Stars and Straight by about 5 minutes.
All right. We'll have that tennis match for you at 4 o'clock Eastern Time on CBS, and our halftime coverage continues after this.
Halftime at Giants Stadium just about over. The New York Giants coming from behind to tie this game on a Raul Alegre field goal with 9 seconds to go, 10-10. We had a sense, I think, both of us, for much of the first half, that there was a sparring match going on.
That's what it seems like. You know, you start out 0-0 and you play the first half to establish something. And look like both these teams just sparred, and now they go and it's 10-10, and they have to come out and start the second half just like it's a new game.
John, we saw the 49ers last week, and they made some defensive adjustments at halftime that helped them win that game in New Orleans. Is there anything they need to change in their approach?
Well, I don't know. I think that last drive hurt them. I think when the Giants were able to make that 3rd and long, I think that was a big play for them. Then go for it on 4th down, come out with a field goal. And I don't think there's a lot of adjustments. I think that Steve Young has to settle it down a little offensively for him. But other than that, I think they've really played the Giants pretty well.
Big play by Phil Simms on 3rd and 27. And then the 4th down gamble leads to the tying field goal. CBS Sports coverage of NFL football will continue after this message and a word from your local station. Another sellout crowd of 76,000 plus on hand at Giants Stadium And they got revived in the latter 2 minutes of the first half as the Giants came storming back to tie it up 10-10. Mike Cofer will kick off now. And Lee Roussan and Mark Ingram are deep for the Giants. Cofer to kick off as we get set for the second half. 49ers have won here only once since 1968. That was in 1984. And the Giants trying to go 2-0, as are the 49ers to begin the 88 season. Lee Roussan. Not much. And he's down at the 17-yard line. The tackle made by Danny Stubbs, number 96. Phil Simms in the first half. Take a look at what he did.
Well, you know, if we look where he threw the ball, look, he threw most everything was in the middle and 3 to the left. He only threw 1 pass out to the right, and that was a completion. But it looks like he tried to work early in that first half, the middle and the left. We'll see how he comes out this half.
From the 17, Manuel starts in motion. And there's motion in the backfield as Maurice Carthon leaned forward.
Looked like Phil Simms tried to call timeout when they were coming through there. Did you see him? He put his hands up like timeout.
Now we've got 2 flags down. Report from the Giant bench in the meantime to bring you up to date. Carl Nelson cannot put weight on his left ankle, so he will not play in the second half.
You know, and I think a report that I'm just looking at as I look down on the 49er sideline now, Verne, is I bet Joe Montana is going to start and play the second half for the 49ers.
Here's Gordon McCarter.
The movement was legal. The ball was never snapped. The defense gave a late reaction. It was a 5-yard penalty for encroachment on the defense.
There's Joe Montana. He's got the red baseball cap tucked away, and he's got the helmet on.
And that's usually a pretty good indicator. And then you can see he has that pad back on the elbow, so that could very well be one of the adjustments the 49ers made at halftime, switching quarterbacks.
Manuel in motion on 1st and 5. Oh, boy! Charles Haley, number 94, and Joe Morris.
I had the feeling last week that Charles Haley was coming into his own as a linebacker. And I think as we see this game, I think he's better this week against the Giants than he was last week against the Saints. And I think he's going to get better each week. There's a guy who was a defensive lineman. They moved him to linebacker. He started slowly. And you just get the feeling now that he's getting the feel of what's going on.
Haley with a little pressure. Morris with the catch. And tackled from behind by the ankles at the 20. Bill Romanowski makes the tackle. Well, let's keep up to date with Joe Morris. How many hits has he taken? You saw Roger Craig in the first half.
Well, you see, he only has 42, and one of the big reasons is, look, at 37, I'm a lot running, 5 blocking, but he hasn't caught any passes.
Until
Roger Craig gets hit about 5 or 6 times when he catches a pass. Maybe Joe Morris is saying, thank goodness I don't catch any of those things.
3rd and 6 from the shotgun. 4-man rush. Simms up. Simms down. Is that a fumble or is it a forward pass? Forward pass, says McCarter. Steve Young said, where were you in the first quarter? And Simms chases the football down. Well, that will bring on Maury Buford after the incompletion. Wes Chandler is back to return it. Buford's 3rd punt. Out of Texas Tech. Saw action in the Chicago Bears. Out of football for a year, and Sean Landetta on injured reserve with back spasms. High but short. Fair catch, Chandler at the 40. And let's see which quarterback is going to be in the lineup for the 49ers. Steve Young stays on the bench, and here comes Joe Montana.
Well, Bill Parcells said all week, he said, we expect to see Montana. They were saying he was doubtful, he probably won't play. Parcells said all week, baloney. Get ready to play Joe Montana when you play the 49ers.
Those 3 touchdowns came in a 12-minute span last week. Ron Heller in motion. Montana play fake into the flat. Tom Rathman. And Rathman sends Perry Williams backwards. Now you get a close look at the Burr haircut, the old flat top of the Nebraska Cornhusker.
Yeah, he reminds me of the old 49ers. He looks like Gordy Salto used to look when I was a kid watching the 49ers play.
Reminds me of Jim Taylor at Green Bay when I was a kid.
You like those kind of hits when the guy, I mean, you talk about things that go in ways that they don't normally bend. His head and neck went that way.
2nd down and 3. Roger Craig. That's short of the 1st down and short of midfield.
Ball carried by Craig.
Tackle made by Pepper Johnson, number 52.
Yeah, it looked like there wasn't even a block there. We're going to see it's right here. Pepper Johnson just runs straight through here, and he doesn't even get blocked. But the guard blocks down to help on the nose tackle. No one blocks Pepper, and he just runs right through the hole. You got to make that play. Maybe his sister called him at halftime and said, Pepper, wrap your arm.
Roger Craig surging over right guard. That's a 1st down for the 49ers. Well, given what's gone on with the 49er quarterback situation all summer long, I don't think it's any surprise that Bill Walsh would make a change at halftime like this.
Well, and, he said yesterday that Montana was going to play. Montana was upset that he didn't start. And, he thought he could and thought he should have started.
1st and 10, 49ers. 2 wide receivers left. Hand off to Rathman. Inside the block of Sapolu for just 1 yard. And Harry Carson makes the defensive play.
On the play before this one, Steve Wallace, the starting left tackle, just limped off the field with what looked like a hamstring. Bubba Paris, number 77, is back in there at left tackle now. Big Bubba, remember in training camp, the 49ers thought he was way too big, so they sent him out of camp, sent him to the Pritikin Center to lose weight. He lost a little, but not enough.
He's down to 318. Montana deep, man open, overthrown. Jerry Rice had a couple of steps on Mark Collins.
I think Montana wanted to come in there. That's, again, one of the things I'm sure they talked about at halftime. Joe Montana probably watched that 1st half, thought that they could get that, and then couldn't wait to do it. Then he wanted to prove, hey, my elbow's okay. Watch me air one out that won't look like a helicopter landing.
Joe himself said last week after the elbow injury, and he continued to play, he threw a couple of flutter balls.
It looked like helicopters.
3rd and 9. 3-man rush. Roger Craig has some room. 1st down at the 29-yard line.
Hey, one thing about Roger Craig, he can catch that underneath pass and then do something with it once he gets it. Because Carl Banks was right there. Roger Craig just runs away from him. It's one thing to catch a ball underneath in the open field. Then it's the other thing to run by, around, and through guys that are trying to get you. I tell you, Craig has made this Giant defense, tackling-wise, look poor.
That's a 1st and 10 on the 3rd and 9. A gain of 16. Split backs. Montana. Play fake. Screen pass to Rathman. Good block from McIntyre. Good block from Sapolu, and a gain to the 20.
When Steve Wallace went back in at left tackle for Bubba Paris, maybe that wasn't a pulled muscle. It could have just been a cramp, because he's right back there.
Just had a corner of my eye. I've been watching Wallace most of the afternoon. He's had a good day.
And he had a good day last week, remember, against the Saints, blocking Pat Swilling, who was one of the top pass rushers in the NFL.
Wallace won this job over Paris, in part because of the weight problems, in part because of his play. 2nd and short. Craig. Nice move. And a good block on the wing, this time from Wes Chandler, who shielded a potential defender. Terry Kennard makes the tackle, another 49er 1st down.
Yeah, there's no one at leading a team on a first drive in football better than Joe Montana. Bill Walsh would normally start him, and then that first drive is something that you could write a textbook about. Here, he didn't start him. He comes in the second half, and again, he has a textbook drive.
First and goal from the 9. Rice right, Chandler left. Roger Craig down at the 5-yard line. Tackle made by Carl Banks.
Yeah, but you just go back and you think last week, first drive against the Saints, Montana just took that team right down the field methodically, touchdown. This time he comes in second half, just taking the 49ers right down the field methodically.
Roger Craig has now caught 6 for 60 yards and run for 61 yards. Second and goal from the 5. Two-step drop. Left side, incomplete. Rice held up in the end zone, and the flag is down.
Like he may have been more than held up. He may have been held in the end zone.
Now the indications are it's going the other way. Wow.
Maybe he wasn't held up. Maybe he was holding.
He was the holdee or the holdor.
Pass interference. Number 80 on the offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
Well, it was Jerry Rice, and it was Kennard. We'll see him here, and it happened right up here in the end zone against Kennard. You'll see him pushing off, I guess. See the contactor up there in the end zone.
Now you tell me where you saw that.
I don't know. I think that's a phantom call. The guy pulled one out of the back of his hat.
Wonder if this guy worked the Nebraska-UCLA game yesterday where they had a phantom call. Here's Montana to Craig. Down to the 7-yard line. In the opening drive of the season a week ago, Joe Montana's 49ers kept the ball for a little over 8 minutes in scoring a touchdown, and they've had possession of it here for quite a while. Third and goal from the 9.
Hey, that was some penalty, wasn't it? There was nothing there. The guy just threw a flag and calls a penalty.
That really was
see something, they make them up. I don't understand. I can see you missing a penalty. I really can. I can see one missing, but I can't see you making them up if they're not there.
Montana, incomplete for Chandler. Fourth down, Mike Gopher comes on.
I'll tell you one thing that the 49ers did is the Giants had a lot of momentum going in at halftime. The 49ers came back and have taken that away from them.
This will be the 12th play of this drive in 5.5 minutes. 26-yard field goal. Gopher has yet to miss an 88. Kicked in the replacement games for the New Orleans Saints last year. Got another one. Mike Gopher is perfect, and the San Francisco 49ers have reclaimed a lead of 3. 7:51 to go, third quarter. Lendl and Wielander coming up next, the men's final at the U.S. Open from here in New York City. Lendl in his 7th straight U.S. Open final. He's going after his 4th state title. And Mats Wielander. Not all that often these days when the number 1 and 2 seeds make it to the championship match, but they have. So we've got a heck of a matchup for you on the U.S. Open men's final coming up next.
Probably when they draw those things up, that's what they hope for.
They got it this time.
You know, as I watch Gopher here line up, the ball goes off the tee. The guy's perfect for the year. You talk about tennis. These guys remind me of tennis players. Kickers and tennis players are kind of the same guys.
Why?
Well, they spend a lot of time by themselves. They do that. Pat Summerall was a kicker. He announces football. He announces tennis. I think there's something to that. I mean, I think they ought to have a tennis tournament for kickers.
Here's Ingram out to the 30 for the Giants. Are you implying that Summerall spends a lot of time by himself?
Yeah. But then you take a guy like Wielander, Mats Wielander. He could come and kick in the NFL.
He probably will.
No, I know it, Lendl. You know, these guys, when you have kicking problems, like the 49ers have and the Giants have, the teams get more telephone calls than any other position. Both teams said the phone's ringing off the hook. Guys are coming. Truck drivers pulling up to the joint, saying, hey, let me kick for it. Everyone in the world thinks they can kick.
Haley coming. Morris makes the catch, his second today. Out to the 36-yard line. Ricky Ellison, Larry Roberts, part of the tackle.
Yeah, I bet it's the same thing with tennis. I'll bet you start playing tennis, everyone looks, and what? What, you just take a racket, you hit a ball, I can do that. I can do that. Kick a ball, what? You just kick? I can do that. Everyone thinks they can do those two things.
Probably kickers think they can be tennis players.
Yeah, they are.
Second and 4. Morris short of the first down. Outside the left hash mark and short of the 40 as well.
The other guy who's done a pretty good job is this Elliott guy, Jumbo Elliott, out of Michigan. He had to come in, replace Carl Nelson. And remember that last drive, just before the half, he had to do some pass protecting in some tough situations. Here he is here, man. He cuts off that back side. That guy just spreads out. He takes 5 yards.
Out of the shotgun on 3rd and 2. George Adams to the 47 of the San Francisco 49ers. That's a gain of 14 yards.
Remember the guy, Tony Galbraith, always ran that play. They'd get in the shotgun. Galbraith would be their pass receiving back. They get in this. Boom, they just make a draw trap out of it, hit that middle. These guys have made a living on that play for 3 years.
I think that was your guy, Elliott, who made a pretty good block then.
He came across there and picked off that linebacker. Gave him a deep leader.
Standing short. Otis Anderson in the lineup. And makes the catch at the 43-yard line.
I like my guy Elliott, partly because he tipped those Toledos over 300 pounds. You got to like a guy named Jumbo. You start out there, what's your name? Jumbo. You got to like that. Pretty good pass protector. Just grabs up there, you get a little face mask, you get a little jersey. Whatever it takes, you get the job done. See, he got a nice base to him, that guy.
Second and 5, that's Manuel in motion. This is knocked down at the 39-yard line. Another 3rd and 2.
This guy's the type of guy, this Elliott guy, that kind of like Wallace was for the 49ers. The guy's a good player. Once he gets in there, he may stay in there for 10, 12 years. Those guys never come out. I mean, those linemen, once they get in there, they may just, bring their lunch pail and kind of hang around there for a long, long time.
3rd and 2. Zeke Moab in motion. Did not get it this time. It'll be 4th down.
This will be interesting to see what Bill Parcells did now. We know what he did in the first half. Went for it.
He went for it on 4th and 2 from midfield in the first half. He'll try the gamble again.
I don't know. He took a timeout last time he went for it. It's one of those situations that he has to feel is too close for a punt and too far for a field goal, so I might as well.
Morris. That's really going to be close.
This is going to be where that guy puts his foot down and what kind of mark you got. I don't think from here, I don't think he made it. 49ers are saying the same thing, but where you put that ball, look, they're moving it around down there. From up here, raw eyes, I would say no. I would say it's 49ers ball, first down.
I agree with you.
Look, they even got the spare ball. That guy's holding on to that thing there.
Carson's out already on defense. It's short. 49ers take over. Well, he won the gamble in the first half. He loses here in the 3rd quarter.
I think here he gets a lead. It's Joe Morris again. He probably feels if he can get him into the line that Joe Morris can squirm to get the first down. He couldn't that time.
Doubleheader on CBS next week. Most of you will see the Minnesota-Chicago game, a dandy in the NFC Central. Others watch Philadelphia against the Redskins. Phoenix at Tampa Bay. It all begins with the NFL today at 12:30. And then the second game, the Giants Dallas, the Rams Raiders, or Atlanta and San Francisco. All of that next week on CBS. Play fake, Joe Montana. Rice, tipped and incomplete. Catchable. Mark Collins, pretty good coverage on Jerry Rice.
I'll tell you, that was great coverage by Mark Collins on Jerry Rice, because he had him all over the field, which is a tough thing. And we see Rice is going to start out as a wide receiver. Then he comes in motion tight. Collins has to cover him before, then all the way into play. Montana threw it a little behind Rice, but still, I don't think with that coverage he would have been complete anyway, no matter how he threw it.
Second down and 10. 49ers have the ball because the Giants went for a first down on 4th and 2 and didn't get it. Here's Roger Craig on the sweep. Good block from McIntyre, but a fine defensive job again. It's Mark Collins who knifes through and makes the tackle. Go back, if you will, John, to that decision by Bill Parcells. He went for it and won the gamble before halftime. Were you surprised he went for it here in this circumstance?
No, because I was surprised he went for it in the first half on 4th down. I mean, I was a guy who always believed that you punt and let your defense play, but I was the same guy who would have done that in the first half. He was successful in the first half. I wouldn't have done it then. I wouldn't have done it this time either.
Third down, split backs. 4-man rush. Reverse Jerry Rice. He's going to throw the ball, and he overthrows Chandler. It was too high for Wes Chandler.
One thing, it didn't fool Terry Kennard. Terry Kennard was a free safety. What they hope is when they see Rice running with the ball that everyone will come up to tackle him. Kennard stayed back and had the coverage on Chandler.
Eric Howard got buckled on the first contact after the snap, and so he limps off. Jim Burt is the other nose tackle. Here's Barry Helton playing in his first regular season game. McConkey is back to return. At the 20, McConkey. Flag is down back to the line of scrimmage.
I would think that'll be one where it'll be against the 49ers. I would think with that punt and that return, the Giants will probably turn it down.
Oh, offside against the Giants. That would not be enough to give them the first down, but that was only a 38-yard punt and a 10-yard return. So,
well, what it will do now it'll let the 49ers punt it again, though.
Right.
That's a big play. It's not enough to give them a first down, as you say, but at least they get a chance to.
Defense, the man left of center. 5-yard penalty, replay, 4th down.
Whatever his number was.
Well, it's just the guy left to the center.
Sounds like a politician.
Defensive guy left to the center.
There's Eric Howard, who limped off. 4th and 1. And Helton with a second chance. That's much higher. Greater hang time. McConkey with a fair catch at the 10. So that was a very big play for the 49ers. The Giants lose 20 yards on the exchange. 2:53 to go. Third quarter. 49ers lead by 3. Florida State Clemson coming up next Saturday on CBS. Both in the top 10, both winners last night. Meanwhile, the 49ers lead the Giants. 2:53 to go third quarter. Verne Lundquist and John Madden from Giants Stadium. Phil Simms on first down. Perfect. 6 of 6. I don't know that that's what he's got in mind from his own 11, but we'll see. Manuel starts in motion going left, and Simms will throw. Oh, boy, big rush, and it hit Ricky Ellison in the back. Michael Walter, number 99, was right in Phil Simms' face.
One thing, it looks like the 49ers are deciding that instead of just bringing 3, they need some more pressure. They're going to bring the linebackers. They're going to come from the outside. They're going to, instead of bringing 3, they're going to bring 5 to get pressure on Phil Simms.
Wayne Board is checked in defensively now for the 49ers. Here's Simms back. Caught Bavaro. First down at the 37.
I think the Giants will be real happy when and if Mark Bavaro gets back to the player he was a couple of years ago. You know, he held out. He missed the entire training camp, the entire preseason. And on that play there, he had some freedom, some flow, and he looked like the old Mark Bavaro. A year ago, he looked like, a week ago, he looked like a shadow of Mark Bavaro.
That's a 26-yard gain, first down, 37. Joe Morris, power sweep. Oh, he got a wonderful block from Bill Ard. And Ricky Ellison makes the tackle.
I'll tell you, look at the job that they do on Charles Haley here. He's right here. Watch Haley. Watch. We hit him here. Then they come here and they get him here and they put him right on his back. You see, Bavaro is going to start, and then Carthon is going to come in. And watch where Haley ends up. I'll tell you, that is what you call a soft corner when you can knock the linebacker off the line.
From the 44, second and 3 and a play fake. And Sims. Charles Haley got him, and Phil, I think, thought there was a face mask there, but no flag.
Phil is checking to see if he has all his teeth. I tell you, Haley got knocked down like we showed the play before. You talk about a guy who is excited. Watch him come on this play. I mean, he is going to de-head Sims. I'm just saying, that caught him on the face mask. Poof. That could have been a vicious blow.
3rd and 8, Stephen Baker in the lineup. 4-man rush by the 49ers. Sims incomplete, dropped by George Adams, who was being trailed by Danny Stubbs. It'll be 4th down.
Danny Stubbs is a rookie, and anytime a rookie can make a play like that where he doesn't get fooled, he comes off in pass coverage as a defensive lineman, he's the happiest guy out there.
Pittsburgh, Timmy Smith was thrown out of the game for participating in a shoving match in that game, and he bumped a referee. New Orleans on a Morton Anderson field goal back on top of Atlanta, or on top for the first time. Wes Chandler back to Maury Cooper's punt, and Chet Brooks almost got there. It comes to a rest at the 27. So this teeter-totter battle continues from Giant Stadium. 49ers have the ball and the lead. Battle of two top 10 teams next Saturday on CBS. FSU rebounded from its opening game loss with a big win last night over Southern Mississippi. And Clemson playing at home in Death Valley. That's one of the liveliest places in college football. And all of that color and excitement will be brought to you on CBS next Saturday afternoon. College football on CBS. 1st and 10, 49ers 13-10 they lead. Roger Craig. Oh, he got a terrific block from Tom Rathman. A picture-perfect block by number 44 gets Craig around the corner. And a gain of 15.
You know, that's the reason you look at a guy's stats like Rathman, the fullback, and you don't see him, carry the ball a lot, catch a lot, but that doesn't show up in the stats where he runs out there, knocks the linebacker down so that Roger Craig can run around the corner. And that is as valuable as any run or any pass he could catch. You ought to have a stat for that stuff. You know what I mean?
1st and 10, 13-10, 49ers lead, final minute, 3rd quarter. Here's Rathman. I think Craig returned, well, no, Craig didn't return the favor. Craig was out on the right wing, but the offensive line did its job for Tom Rathman.
I think Bill Walsh decided then after a block like that, let's throw the guy a bone and let him carry the ball like a real fullback.
Tell you, with that haircut, Rathman could only have played for Nebraska.
And could only play fullback for the 49ers. I mean, that's an entire package. I'll tell you one thing about fullbacks from Nebraska, though. I mean, before I knew anything about Tom Rathman, I knew one thing when he could block. I mean, every running back who comes out of Nebraska is a good blocker and a complete player.
Just the program, you think?
I think so. I think the program, the type of guys they recruit, and the way they coach. Although last night it wasn't good enough to beat UCLA.
How about Troy Aikman yesterday and that tight end for UCLA? Didn't he look good?
They got some good players.
You bet. 1st and 10. Roger Craig around the corner. That time Wilson and Bubba Paris is back in there. We're supplying the blocking, and Terry Kennard makes the tackle.
I'll tell you an interesting thing. They took Guy McIntyre, put him at the tight end. Now watch the block that he makes on Hedden here. Here's Big Bubba. He's going to get a good one. McIntyre, who's a guard playing tight end, watch the corner that he gives there blocking on Hedden. Get on him, stay with him, take him back. Look at that block. I mean, Hedden looked like he'd been tied to him.
That's the end of the third quarter with our score. The 49ers 13 and the Giants 10. We now pause for a word from your local station. Sellout crowd watching a close, exciting ball game. 13-10. 49ers have the lead and a second down and 2 at the Giant 40. Rice in motion. Craig gets to the outside and has a first down at the 33-yard line. A little spurt as he turned the corner.
Well, Byron Hunt is in there now at that outside linebacker, and again, that little spurt was just enough to get Craig around that corner and around Byron Hunt. Had him waving for air.
Does that high knee action of his remind you of anybody else?
No, it reminds me of Roger Craig. I mean, it seems like I've been watching him so long and seeing him doing it so much that's Roger Craig. That's his style.
First and 10, 49ers. Rice in motion. He's been quiet for the last 2 quarters of play. Montana into the flat for Rathman. Watch him try and bowl over players, and Collins did a nice job of getting a 5-10 frame underneath Rathman.
Well, that was an intelligent job. When you see a big fullback come running straight at you, and you're outweighed by 20 or 30 pounds, you don't want to take him on in the shoulder area. Watch Mark Collins, number 25. This is what he's looking at. And he says the way to do it is get down below those knees. There's no power there. That's smart.
That gives new meaning to the phrase, get down.
Right, and it gives new meaning to the phrase, I'll be back to play another down.
Roger Craig across the 20 on first down to the 17-yard line. Might give him only the 18. Now Andy Hedden comes back in defensively for the Giants. See if Byron Hunt is the one who goes out.
Well, you know, they're trying to compensate for losing Lawrence Taylor. And Lawrence Taylor is one of those players that you can play Byron Hunt, you can play Andy Hedden, you can put Pepper Johnson there, and none of those things will compensate for his talent.
Second down and 7. Clock shows 13:05 to go. Blitz, good job of picking up the blitz, and then a near decapitation by Kennard on Wes Chandler.
Terry Kennard just has Chandler zeroed in. Chandler's going to come to the inside. Kennard is a free safety in there waiting. And look at him. He just zeroes in on Kennard. And Chandler says there's going to be a collision if you catch that one.
3rd and 7. 49ers are 5 of 10. They have 308 yards of total offense, more than double that of the Giants, and yet they have only 13 points. And they have a 3rd and 7 right now. Blitz look by New York. Audible by Joe Montana. 4 seconds on the 45-second clock. Into the end zone. Dropped by Rice. And it was catchable. He had 6.
Jerry Rice said that he hasn't played well in New York, and he's keeping that streak alive. You remember when he just fumbled one when he had a touchdown here. Here, he has to catch that ball. I mean, that's right there in the hand. You have to. I mean, they pay him too much money to drop those kind of passes in that kind of situation.
Mike Cofer, perfect today, although he did miss that 62-yarder. That's right, at the end of the first half. But this one is no good.
I'll tell you, that will fire up this Giant defense, that Giant team, this fans, this stadium, this place.
If you joined us late, Joe Montana came on in place of Steve Young to start the second half. Young played the first half. Roger Craig with 165 total yards. The 49ers have won the battle on the ground, but they have only a 3-point lead with 12:51 to go. Bill Sims with his backs in the eye on 1st and 10, and he'll throw again. Mark Bavaro to the 25, maybe the 26-yard line. Charles Haley makes the tackle, and Bavaro will be slow getting up.
I don't know. That was that second hit. He really got bent over. I think he was all right on the first one. And then when Haley comes across, again, Bavaro's going to be knocked back in a way your body doesn't bend. Watch it right there.
Mike Walter was the second
player. Yeah, there was
Mike
Walter was a linebacker coming over the top. Whew.
While we have just a moment, let's go back to our New York studios. Here's Brent Musburger.
Verne, a lot of action now around the league. Atlanta's regained the lead on New Orleans, settled from 1 yard out, and so that one's 21-15 Falcons. Washington has just scored in RFK. They trail Pittsburgh by 2, and Indianapolis has just gotten the lead on the Bears. Eric Dickerson scores 13-10. Let's go back to Verne and John.
Tell you what, Brent, it's nice to be talking about football in the second week of the season instead of talking about a coming strike, isn't it? And seeing these scores, here's Bavaro up.
That's nice. It looked like that when Michael Walter hit him and bent him over, it looked like what it did was just knock the wind out of Bavaro. Of course, that could have knocked a lot of things. I mean, the way he was bent and twisted, it could have knocked a lot of things out of him.
Tim Sherwin has come on. It'll be 2nd down and 4. Joe Montana on the sideline. Had Rice open in the end zone. Rice dropped the ball. 2nd and 4. 12:25 to go in the game. Giants trail 13-10. Carthen in motion, followed by Jeff Fuller. Delayed rush. Pass is caught by Manuel. First down. Lionel Manuel, who had the touchdown in the first quarter of 12 yards from Phil Sims.
You know, it looked like in the first half that they were going to Manuel. Now that's just the 3rd pass he caught. Looked like the Giants got away from their wide receivers and started going more to their backs and tight end. I think if they want to move the ball, I think they're going to have to get back to the wide receivers a little.
1st and 10. Here comes Michael Carter, screen pass. Well, it wasn't a screen pass. Sims just got rid of it. Closest man to it was Bill Ard, as Carter was right in his face. Let's see how the Giants have distributed the ball today. Wide receivers 6 catches, running back 6, and tight ends 4.
Yep, that's not bad. That's not bad. I mean, that's really moving the ball around. They've thrown it to 9 different receivers. That keeps all the guys happy.
Maurice Carthon lines up wide to the left. Otis Anderson is the running back. 2nd and 10. Sims sidearms the ball, and the closest player there was Bill Romanowski of the 49ers. It'll be 4th down.
Well, that's 2 times in a row. This time he's going to get the rush from the outside. The time before that, he got it right up the middle. But in both cases, he just threw those passes away. And he wasn't going to take the sack. He had to get rid of the ball. I'll tell you, Michael Walter made himself available on that last series.
This time, Stephen Baker comes wide to the left, and the other 2 wide receivers, well, 2 are to the left. Now Ingram goes in motion to the right. Stunts by the 49ers front. The pass incomplete. Intended for Ingram. Excellent coverage by Don Griffith.
There's another guy that held out. Both of these corners held out in training camp. Don Griffin, number 29. The guy playing the other side, Tim McKyer. And I think that, you know, that they're just starting. I think that when you miss training camp, you don't start playing like you should until about the 3rd or maybe 4th game you're back.
Maury Buford. Fairly short, but nobody in the vicinity. And he takes a lateral bounce out of bounds at the 25-yard line. 43-yard punt, nothing on the return. We've got 11:18 remaining. Game number 2. That's coming up in just a few minutes. Right now, we've got Charles Haley getting a little equipment repair on the sidelines. changing a rib pad, I think. 11:18 to go in our ball game. The 49ers lead by 3, and they have the ball.
I think they were adding a pad to Charles Haley.
Adding one, huh? Joe Montana on in the second half. Split back. Play fake to Craig. Into the flat for Craig. Carl Banks and Harry Carson were never fooled by the play fake. And as a result, a moderate gain for the 49ers. Roger Craig is just 1 yard shy of 100 yards on the ground, and he's also caught 7 passes this afternoon.
He also takes a lot of hits when he does that. You know, you can see just that last one, catching that pass and coming out here. I just got 6 or 7 guys just take a whack at him over here in the sideline.
Second down 7. Flip formation to the left. Play fake again. Montana on his hip. He settles for the short man. That's Mike Wilson, number 85, who was tackled by Pepper Johnson.
You know, talking about settling for the short man, that was the first pass that Montana completed of over 10 yards. It was 0 for 3 before that. Everything else was under 10 yards. I mean, a lot of that is just Joe Montana. Some of that could be the elbow.
That was a gain of 14. Doug DeBose checks into the offensive set now, replacing Roger Craig. Wilson goes left. Jerry Rice comes right. And we're under 10 minutes left in the game. 9:57. DeBose. Nice play by Kenny Hill. Now, let's go to Brent Musburger in our New York studios for this NFL update.
Well, Verne and John, the lead has changed hands again in Atlanta. Reuben Mays, a slick 17-yard run here for the New Orleans Saints. He'll get to the corner on the right side, step into the end zone, 22-21. Now in baseball, New Yorkers are concerned here, and the Yankees can move to within 3.5. Jack Clark's 2-run homer, and the Indians in the 9th inning lead Boston 3-2. Back now to Verne and John.
All right, Brent. In the meantime, Kenny Hill, injured on the last play, will walk off the field.
It's ironic, you know, Brent was talking about Reuben Mays scoring a score there. How many guys we're talking about who hold out? Bavaro just got hurt. He was a holdout. We had Griffin, we had McKyer. They've been holdouts. It seems like all the holdouts right now are starting to do things.
Second down and 8. Montana, incomplete, flag down at the 45-yard line. As Chandler and Rice were both within 5 feet of each other. Holding, Giants. Reuben Mays, as John said, was a holdout for the Saints. Here's the call.
Holding, number 25 defense, 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
You can see Collins here on Chandler. Chandler starts in, then he goes back out, then he goes in again, and right there was the grab. He had his hand on his shoulder pad.
Picky.
Well, I think so, but remember, this is the guy on Monday night that got, he got away with a big one.
That was a mugging on Monday night.
He got an arm around the neck, so maybe they're making up for it a week later.
First and 10. Roger Craig. Adrian White knocks him down, but that was after the first tackle was missed by Pepper Johnson. Walter and Ellison and Charles Haley talk on the sideline. See what Roger Craig has done today, John.
Well, you see, they don't run a lot to the left. He's only gone 3 times to the left, 8 up the middle, and 5 to the right. He's made most of his yards up the middle. And although they've only gone 3 times to the left, they've had pretty good success over there.
On that last play, 7 yards to add to his total. He's now at 106. Montana throws it away. As Andy Hedden was right with him. Jerry Rice, the ostensible primary receiver.
You know, the one thing the Giant defense is looking for now is a dominant defensive player. You know, of course, when they have Lawrence Taylor, he is the dominant, maybe the most dominant player in the NFL. When they play without him, they don't have that dominant guy. You know, Carl Bank maybe will be, but he's another one of those holdout guys. Carl Bank in this game is not a dominant defensive player.
Crowd recognizes just how big this play is, and so does Joe Montana, who calls timeout. When we return, we'll have 8:48 remaining in the game, and the 49ers 3rd and 3. 8 minutes and 48 seconds remaining in this ball game, a 13-10 49er lead. I think we're both a little surprised it hasn't been more high scoring.
Well, yeah, I'm always confused in a situation like this, Verne. It was 10-10 at halftime. It's 13-10 now, 49ers. They got that drive right off the bat. And are we watching a great defensive game, or are we watching a boring game in the second half?
I'll follow your lead.
I don't know. As a coach, I like to say, hey, this is great defense. I love it. But as a fan, I think, hey, this second half has kind of gotten a little boring. You know, we need some scoring. Let's have some action. Come on, guys. Get her going down there.
That may end right now. 3rd and 3.
Air it out.
Rice in motion. Craig slipped. 49ers have to punt. Pepper Johnson putting the pressure on Joe Montana.
I think that's one of the
slipped.
I was going to say, Verne, I think that's one of the problems with only having one guy you're looking at. Watch Montana here. He's looking at Roger Craig all the way. Now, if Roger Craig slips, there's no one else that's open or ready to catch the ball. And I think on 3rd down, I think you have to have more guys open and ready to catch than just one premeditated guy.
Barry Hilton, high, McConkey, fair catch at the 17-yard line. 33-yard punt, but inside the 20. 13-10. 49ers lead with 8:37 to go. Elsewhere around the NFL, Indianapolis still leads Chicago. You saw Brent's update on the New Orleans-Atlanta game. Tampa Bay and Green Bay. Miami-Buffalo tied. Pittsburgh, on another long pass from Bubby Brister, has gone on top of the Washington Redskins. Joe Morris goes right for about 3. Alien Stover with the tackle.
You know, I think this is what I'm talking about. Now, whether this is great defense by the 49ers or boring offense by the Giants or whatever, I don't know. But if you just look at what the Giants have done in the second half, it's, you know, the old few plays and then punt the ball.
2nd down, 7, 8:05 to go. Mowat is in. That's Zeke Mowat in motion. Sims, right side, wide open. Lionel Manuel to the 44-yard line, 1st down.
Lionel Manuel this year wants to be a Pro Bowl player. Like Bill Parcells was saying, this guy is a different guy. He's in better shape. He's concentrating more. He's better than he ever was. In fact, he's married now, and he's in a bowling league. So when you get a guy married and in a bowling league, you got a settled down wide receiver.
Sam Morris. Again, a couple. I would think that would indicate a change of lifestyle. Married and bowling league.
Well, then he probably has a station wagon and a lawnmower. It all goes. I always said when I was coaching, the toughest group to coach and handle and get along with and get things done and motivate were the single players. They were always the toughest guys. Those married guys, man, when practice was over, they had a place to go. They had to go home. The single, you had no idea where those guys would go.
2nd down and 8. Manuel runs a slant pattern. Tip incomplete. Bavaro. It was a little bit behind him, and the flag is down at the 42.
That's Bavaro here. He's coming straight up the middle. He's just going to turn on a hook pattern, work back towards the ball, and it was a little to his left. But again, at some point, when you pay those guys that much money, they got to catch the ball.
There's Gordon McCarter, one of the modest changes in the league this year.
Illegal use of hands, jam to the face. Number 76 offense, 10-yard penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
That's John Elliott.
Well, we saw him earlier. You know, that's the way. You got to, you know, whatever it takes to get him. We saw him earlier where he had to grab, a hold, a pull, a push. That time someone saw it. Earlier they didn't see it.
Second down and 18. Clock shows 6:46 to go. Here comes the blitz by the 49ers. Sims gets rid of it. Perfect call. Joe Morris. Great blocks. And Don Griffin saves maybe 25 more yards. An absolutely perfect call.
And I think it was a great throw by Phil Sims because he's getting the rush from the side he's going to throw the screen to. Now watch what he has to do. He had to bring that ball down and throw it sidearm. Get it out there to Morris. Get the good lead, and Griffin makes a saving tackle here.
Gain of 17. It'll be 3rd and 1.
It has to be tough for a quarterback like Sims to get the pressure like that, stay in there and get the ball underneath the rush.
Morris. Piles moved to the left that time. Joe Morris.
What you hear? This is the type of thing. They get a screen pass, then they just hand it to Morris. He just fires in there, gets the piles going backwards, and that excites this crowd here. The whole place started to yell when Joe Morris knocked the 49ers back.
1st and 10, 5:29 to go in the ball game. Sims hit as he let it go. Incomplete pass. Charles Haley again.
The 49ers are going to end up with a pretty good defensive player in Charles Haley. I know that when they first moved him there and in the spring and in the preseason game, they weren't sure what they had. But they also need a dominant player on defense. And if they don't watch out, this guy could be the guy who's going to be that dominant player.
They've asked Haley to line up both in an up position at linebacker and in the nickel defense as a down lineman. Now he comes to the right side, and he will be in and, well, is he going down? Yes, he's in an up position, but on the line.
And he's hurt, too.
Here comes Haley again. Almost picked off. Ingram fell, and in the process, knocked Don Griffin out of the way. Now, let's go back to Brent Musburger in our New York studios for this update.
Verne and John, here's how the Chicago Bears regained the lead in Indianapolis. Matt Suhey pounds in from 2 yards out. Butler's extra point is good. 17-13. 9 minutes to go in that one. Let's go back to Verne and John.
13-10 here, Brent. 5:18 to go, and 3rd and 10, and Haley is hurt and out of the lineup. 3 wide receiver set for the Giants. 4-man rush for the 49ers. And man wide open. At the 25, it's Manuel.
Lionel Manuel is up on top. You're going to see him go up the field to the 30, cut in on an in pattern, catch the ball, and take it up the field.
That's a gain of 16. The clock shows 4:40 remaining in the ball game. 1st and 10. Joe Morris almost got by Mike Walter.
I'll tell you, as long as Tim McKyer is that far off of Manuel, I would keep throwing the ball to him. I think the way McKyer is playing and has played these last few downs, they can hit Lionel Manuel on ins and outs at about 12 or 15 yards all day.
They've got a 2nd down and 9 now. 4:10 to go in the ball game. 13-10 49ers.
See how far McKyer is off him? I think they can still run that same pattern.
10-12 yards. Zone defense employed by the 49ers. Sims pulls out. Incomplete. McKyer and Manuel.
Well, they had the thing, and they had it earlier. Watch him. Had Sims been able to throw it now, he had him wide open. He had to hold it a little, but he still hit Manuel right in the hand.
3rd and 9. Haley comes out. Carter comes out, and Ellison comes out. The nickel defense now. This will be the dime defense, I think, with 6 defensive backs for the 49ers. Homo. Griffin comes near side. 3rd and 9. Draw play. George Adams. No. And that will bring on Raul Alegre along with with boos from the crowd.
I think I would have tried to come right back and hit Manuel again, because the way McKier's playing him, I think they could make a living over there on that side. And maybe they went to the well one time too often on that draw play from the shotgun.
Allegre, 39 yards to tie it up with 3:25 to go in the clock running. No, sir.
That was one of the ugliest looking kicks I've ever seen. I mean, that thing was just a line drive, like it was the last shot out of a Roman candle. It was a line drive. It didn't get up. It didn't go end over end. It didn't do anything.
Helicopter.
I don't know what it did. Watch it. It's just going to take off to Allegre's left. Watch it. I guess it did end over end. That was just line. That wasn't even close.
And as a result, a fine drive engineered by the Giants comes to naught. They still trail by 3:18 to go. And Joe Montana leads the 49ers up. San Francisco with one win here in the last 20 years. Roger Craig to the 25. Pittsburgh leads Washington by 9 now, 29-20 in the fourth quarter.
You know, I guess it is that type of situation where once you win the Super Bowl, you just can't come back and be the same team. You know, I mean, everyone has the right things, the things they try and do, they talk about, the way they try and play. This 49er team here hasn't won a playoff game since they've won the Super Bowl. Giants haven't gotten to the playoffs since they won the Super Bowl.
Keller starts in motion. Montana back, lobs it out. A flag is down in the offensive backfield. Now the Giants, of course, 0-5 last year, including 3 losses in the strike games. That'll be against the 49ers.
Probably against Jesse Sepulveda, the left guard, because the official pointed right at him.
That's a pretty good indication.
He was standing there like, I caught you.
Here's McCarter.
Illegal use of hands, jammed to the face. Number 61 offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat second down.
Jesse Sepulveda didn't argue. Watch him. He's a left guard right here. Let's see if we can see what he's doing with the hand to the face. Has to be that left hand right now. Right there. That's it. Right to the face mask. Oh, and then he even jerked the mask back a little after he did it.
Second down and 16. 2:32 to go in the ball game. There's Sepulveda. Marshall all over Tom Rathman.
Yeah, we were talking the play before about Jesse Sepulveda and the penalty. The guy he hit in the face was Leonard Marshall. Leonard Marshall is the guy who missed last week. He's been injured. Watch him, the penetration right in the middle of the screen. He gets in the backfield before Rathman can get to the line of scrimmage.
Timeout, New York Giants. That will leave them with 2. In baseball, the Yankees lead Detroit in the 6th inning, while Boston is trailing Cleveland in the 9th. So the Yankees with a win could pull to within 3.5. Seattle and Milwaukee just underway, and Milwaukee only 5.5 back to start today. Leads 1-0 early in that ball game. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the New York Giants and the National Football League is prohibited. Both teams with 2 timeouts left, 2:22 to go. Carl Nelson still with his uniform half on, out of his shoulder pads and jersey, and Montana back on the field. Nelson went out in the first half with an ankle sprain. 3rd and 19, 2:23 to go. Roger Craig. Pepper Johnson. Giant timeout with 2:13 to go.
Hey, they get the pressure on him there. They get Craig. They get the blitz up the middle. Then they get containment on Craig. You see, watch him come to the outside, forcing him, Leonard Marshall, forcing him to cut back inside to Pepper Johnson. I tell you, those were two big plays in a row made by Leonard Marshall.
And Barry Helton, just re-signed this week, is on to punt for the 49ers. McConkey waits for it at the Giant 45-yard line.
And I would think if I were the Giants that I would come on a punt block here. You take a guy who's a rookie, he's going to be nervous anyway, a punter, a guy who's been waived, who was up in Colorado watching the game last week, brought back, who's in New York, visiting team. I think he has to be a little nervous.
Bill Walsh said in preseason he begged Helton, just give me one reason to keep you on the roster. That's a short punt. McConkey at the 48. McConkey. No flags.
Bill McConkey had a big play Monday night against the Redskins. He comes up with another big one. Here's a guy who's too small, too slow, too old, too everything. But I'll tell you, he is a big part of the heart of this team. A guy who doesn't have anything. He's not strong enough, fast enough, quick enough, but he gives you big, big plays when you need them.
That was a 32-yard return by Phil McConkey of a 34-yard Barry Helton punt. McConkey last week with a 35-yard return punt. And now a first down for the New York Giants on the 15-yard line, trailing by 3.
You need guys like Phil McConkey around. You really do. I mean, I used to have a guy, Pete Banizak. They're just the spirit. They give you life when you need it.
Maurice Carthon starts in motion. Joe Morris, Madden driven back by Bill Romanowski, the rookie out of Boston College. Now, do you think field goal here to tie? You can't afford to do that, Joe.
I would be scared to death after what my field goal kicker just did on that last time. I would have gone for a shot there on first down. I'd sure go for a shot throwing the ball on second and third down. Then if I can't do it that way, then I'd go for the field goal to tie.
Otis Anderson in with Maurice Carthon in the backfield, second and 10. Sims, far corner, Manuel, touchdown! Seconds left. A leg raise extra point is good.
Watch Sims back here. He's watching Manuel all the way. Manuel starts to the inside, then goes back out to the corner. Watch him here. He's going to run a corner bend. You start up here. He brings Griffin to the inside, get him to react there, and then come back outside on the corner. You see, you got to sell him that you're going in. Here, start in right there. See how he sold him? Then he could come, bounce back out to the corner, and give Sims room to lead him to the corner.
Perfect pass from that man to Lionel Manuel. Coming up tonight on CBS. It begins with 60 Minutes. If it's Sunday, it must be 60 Minutes. And if it's 60 Minutes, it's everybody's favorite news magazine. That's followed by Murder, She Wrote, starring Angela Lansbury, and tonight's CBS Sunday movie Intrigue, starring Scott Glenn. That's all tonight on CBS. And, of course, we've also got the U.S. Open men's finals coming up after our ball game. right now, 1:21 to go. And the 49ers have fallen behind by 4. Sam Kennedy came up with a loose ball. The U.S. Open men's final, Lendl against Nylander. That's next on CBS. Right now, 1:15 remaining in the ball game. And Joe Montana brings the 49ers up 17-13 Giants.
And you're not going to see Montana get in a shotgun in this situation. This crowd has eliminated the shotgun as a formation. Montana's going to have to get up under the center. This is the toughest thing about the shotgun. You practice it and practice it.
The play is being reviewed.
Well, they are looking at that fumble on the kickoff return.
We're going to look at it again, too. We see the ball is out there. We know it's a fumble. So you're looking here. Who recovered it? There's Haley, 94. It's underneath, but there's 2 49ers and 1 Giant in there.
Sam Kennedy came up with the ball.
And so it's not whether or not it was a fumble, but it's who recovered the fumble.
The play stands as ruled. Will continue play.
DeBose, we know it's a fumble. It already ruled that it's going to stand as it is, so it's first down 49ers.
49ers go with 4 wide receivers. Rice and Wilson come near side. Nicholas and Chandler go top. There's a slant pattern to Jerry Rice, who dropped his second pass of the day. He's going to remember New York for bitter reasons again.
You know, he said that he's never played well here. He's never had a good game here. He's never had anything good happen to him here. But he told us yesterday, I'm going to change that tomorrow.
He hasn't.
Nope. He's had a terrible day.
2nd and 10. Rice with 3 passes, all in the first quarter. Flag is down.
Yeah, I would think that would have to be a problem with the noise here for the quarterback. You know that they can't use a shotgun.
There's no foul, merely a muff of the snap by the quarterback. Ball is recovered by the offensive team. Third down.
I wonder why they threw their flag down then if it's just muff of the quarterback. But I think the muff of the quarterback is the reason of the crowd. They just can't hear. Before the ball was snapped. He would like to get in the shotgun. You talk about something quiet in the game. We're just saying Rice hasn't done anything. It hasn't been a game.
70.
You talk about something quiet in the game. We're just saying Rice hasn't done anything. It hasn't been a game.
Touchdown pass with 42 seconds remaining.
And that's why they pay him a lot of money, and that's why he said last night, I'm going to change that today.
Bill McConkey barely had time to put the towel away. And Rice stuns this crowd and the Giants. 78 yards.
I'll tell you, that was a perfect throw by Montana. He's out here. Here's Rice right here. Montana, again, can't shotgun. Just comes back, hits Rice right over the top of Mark Collins. Watch him. Collins comes up. Watch it touch Joe Montana has. Just leads the ball right over Jerry Rice and right over Collins. And at this time, it's academic.
Collins and Kenny Hill bumped, but I don't think either could have caught him. And Rice erases a nightmare of 3 years making. Mark Collins on the bench.
How about a nightmare at Joe Montana? The last time he played here, he didn't walk out. They carried him out. He was knocked out by Jim Burt, carried out in an ambulance.
And that was 49-3 disaster in the '86 playoffs. My gracious.
I don't think the 49ers are ready to put Joe Montana on the shelf yet.
Mike Kofer will kick off. And Lee Ruslan at the 15. Alvin Nicholas makes the tackle. And the Giants, with one timeout left, have 39 seconds remaining.
I think they only have one thing they can do here, one player. I think somehow they're going to have to try and get the ball 2 or 3 times to Lionel Manuel. I think it has to be here. They need pass protection. Phil Simms has to get the ball to Manuel. I would think he's his guy in this situation.
4 wide receiver set. Baker, the lone man on the left side. 3-man rush, 4-man rush now. Simms back and gets rid of it just before Gordon McCarter called in the grasp. Final score, Tampa Bay defeats Green Bay by 3. Donald Igwebuike, and Buffalo gets a field goal late in the game to edge Miami by 3. Washington has scored again, 29-27. Second down and 10. And the final, Verlander and Lendl coming next. Ingram.
I think Phil Simms has had a good day today, and the passes that really haven't been complete are ones that he got rushed and had to throw them away, or ones that guys have dropped, such as Ingram dropping that one. What's funny about this game, it went pretty good in the first half, then it went to kind of the defenses took over, and then boom, explosive at the end.
That's a double boom, boom and boom.
Who would have thought?
3rd and 10. Ingram behind him. Allegre missed a 39-yarder that would have tied the game. But that became academic. Well, it didn't become academic, because had he made it and things gone as they have since, we'd be tied at 20.
Yeah, but then you go to the if and if.
Right,
If the Giants have dropped 5 passes today, had they caught those, had something happened for the 49ers, they could have scored another one, and that's the way it is.
4th and 10. Simms needs a couple more, has it. First down.
I still think that, the Giants have to think here, and the 49ers defensively have to think here in terms of a field goal. All they have to do is get about 30 more yards, 2 quick completions, and then take a shot at the field goal.
Giants have used their final timeout, 17 seconds remaining. This one was just kind of rolling along placidly at 13-10 through most of the second half. And then Lionel Manuel caught a pass from Phil Simms, put the Giants on top 17-13, and with 42 seconds to go.
And you see Bill Walsh here, he's probably as upset with the prevent defense as the fans are. The fans always say prevent. What does it prevent? It just prevents victory. And the 49ers are in it. They're all off. The Giants are completing passes, and the head coach is mad about it.
1st and 10. That's caught. Ingram makes the catch in front of Tom Holmoe. 4 seconds to go. I don't know that they'll have time to get another play snap.
I don't know where that ball came from, because usually until they're ready, the umpire will stand on the ball. He's the official behind the defense. That ball came flying out of there. I don't know where it came from.
Game is over on the play.
The game is over, as Gordon McCarter says, despite the argument offered by Phil Simms. A 78-yard touchdown pass, Montana to Jerry Rice with 42 seconds remaining. And Bill Walsh's 49ers defeat Bill Parcells' Giants and go 2-0 In the 1988 season, the Giants fall to 1-1. 49ers win it. Back after this.